What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the show. We're so happy you could join us. Join us. Because we're talking about The Evil Dead from 1981. I'm Dusty Lane.
I'm Jason Mitchell.
And we are the Cinebytes.
Hello?
I came for you. We have such sights to show you.
It was an excellent day for an exorcism.
I said, I'm not gonna hurt you. I'm just gonna bash your brains.
I want to play a game.
What's the boogeyman?
As a matter of fact, it was. This is God.
We all go a little mad sometimes. Haven't you?
Put your brothers into that door!
But sometimes that is better.
Welcome back to Oblivion, everyone. So happy you could come. And we are about as close to Oblivion as we've maybe ever come with this movie. Talking about The Evil Dead from 1981, directed, of course, by Sam Raimi, who's also known for such classics as Drag Me to Hell, Darkman,
Oh, yeah.
The Quick and the Dead. Fucking this one threw me off a little bit. Oz the Great and Powerful. I didn't remember that was... I remember taking my daughter to see that in the theater, but I didn't remember that it was a Sam Raimi thing, yeah.
Nice.
The Tobey Maguire Spider-Man trilogy, of course.
Yeah, dude, he's all over
Yeah.
a lot of shit. Like, he's not just horror guy. He's actually from suburb of Detroit, Royal Oak.
Yeah.
It's kind of crazy. So that kind of hits home with us being in the Toledo area.
Right.
You
Yeah,
know,
of course.
I think Evil Dead itself was shot in Detroit or around Detroit, right?
So it was shot in Tennessee primarily, and
The
then
cabin?
they did some reshoots in Detroit.
I got you.
Yeah. Sam Raimi, of course, also more recently did the Doctor Strange and the Multiverse of Madness movie, and a film from just this year, Send Help, which I thought was great.
Yeah, I caught that one too. It was pretty good.
Hell yeah, man.
He was a producer only on a lot of stuff too, man. The Grudge 2, Boogeyman, 30 Days a Night, The Possession, 2013 Evil Dead, the one that we're about to catch in a couple days, Evil Dead Burn.
Mhm.
He was producer on that, and actually the one that's already finished and scheduled for a year or two from now, Evil Dead Wrath.
Right.
So,
Hell yeah.
dude's busy. Oh yeah, don't forget Don't Breathe. Those were fucking awesome.
Those were crazy.
Those were,
dude.
yeah.
But yeah, of course, directed and written by Sam Raimi. This movie was originally titled Book of the Dead, based on sort of a proof of concept thing we'll talk about in a minute. But studios on this, Renaissance Pictures, this is an independent film, of course, distributed eventually by New Line Cinema, thanks to a rave review from Stephen King, of all people.
Nice.
The rating on this is NC-17. We don't really have, like, as far as, like, nudity is concerned, we get, like, a couple of boobs here and there.
Mm-hmm.
But I think primarily that rating was due to the ridiculous amount of extreme and crazy gore.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
A runtime of 85 minutes on this. We are set in the rural wooded hills of Tennessee. It was filmed in Morristown, Tennessee, which was the only state that expressed enthusiasm for this project, apparently. And like I said, some reshoots around Detroit, which they used a bunch of they call them fake shemps, where they had to, when they were doing the reshoots, basically, a lot of the actors weren't available for whatever reason, and they would have just stand-ins to do the reshoots with.
Oh, okay.
For a plot on this one, Michiganders don't belong in Tennessee. That's just putting it plain and simple. A nice little cabin retreat turns into a demonic nightmare when 5 Michigan State alums stumble across the Naturum de Monto, which is a Sumerian version of the Egyptian Book of the Dead. Does that make this a Mummy sequel? No, anyway.
Evidently in the same realm from what I keep reading online.
Or I guess the Mummy would be a sequel. Anyway.
Right.
Alongside an archaeologist's tape recorder, which of course unleashes hell. Never read the fucking book, just like the Mummy tells us. Don't read. Don't ever read the Latin.
Well, so this one, he actually didn't read it. You know, it was a recording.
Don't
from this.
play
So,
it. Don't make it be able to. Right, exactly. Yeah, that same shit
Which,
happened in fucking Rise, too.
You know, in Rise, it was different. That motherfucker kind of...
It was a record that he found.
I guess maybe not that different then, really. Yeah.
Right, yeah. And he tried to, like, stop it, and it wouldn't stop. It just fucking took over. But, yeah, anyway. Our cast list, of course, we've got Ashley J. Williams, or otherwise known as Ash, played by Bruce Campbell, of course, an old buddy of Sam Raimi. They grew up together and created a bunch of projects together over the years. And as a producer of this film, he was the only actor willing to stay through the entire production. We'll talk about that in a second.
Wow.
His fucking sister, apparently, I didn't realize this until way too late in this movie, but Cheryl Williams, played by Ellen Sandweiss, who was also in the Within the Woods proof of concept short film that we're going to talk about in a minute. Linda, Ash's girlfriend, played by Betsy Baker, whose eyelashes apparently were ripped off at one point during the production of this because they were removing some of her makeup. Lots of injuries on set for this movie, actually. Shit was just different back then, you know? It was the fucking Wild West. I remember, like, I always think of the story where, like, Stephen King only directed one movie. It was Maximum Overdrive. And he had a situation where there was a lawnmower in that movie that fucking ended up running over something, because that's the whole thing. Like, the machines are coming to life and fucking attacking people, whatever.
Right.
There was a situation where the cinematographer, I believe, something shot out from the fucking lawnmower and stabbed him in the eye. And he lost his fucking eye.
Jesus.
Because there was no, like, safety regulations. Like, obviously things are much different these days, but, like, I just wanted to illustrate, like, back then shit was fucking crazy. They had no, like, nobody monitored anything. Nobody gave a shit. They're just like, whatever. People were getting fucked up left and right.
They're not in a fucking studio.
Right. We've got their buddy Scott, played by Richard DeManencourt, but credited as Hal Delrich in this movie.
Strange.
Also, Shelley, his girlfriend, played by Teresa Tilley, credited as Sarah York in this movie. Why didn't anybody want to use their names? The only other cast list we really have to speak of is barely a part of the cast. It's just a couple of local fishermen standing on the side of the road in the beginning of the movie, played by Robert G. Tappert, who also produced the movie, and Sam Raimi himself, who also voiced the Deadites.
Nice.
We've got the voice of Professor Noby, apparently is his name. I don't think we ever actually catch the name in the movie, but played by Bob Dorian. Moving away from that a little bit, cinematography was handled by Tim Philo, perhaps. And this was shot on 16mm film and incorporated what they called shaky cam, which it was affixed to a piece of wood, and two cam ops ran through the woods with it, fucking whipping it around all over the place. It was a pretty cool effect.
Oh, yeah. Fuck yeah. Fucking iconic now.
Oh, for sure, dude. Yeah, that first tracking shot is wild.
Well, and you see it all over, like we saw it in that new movie we just watched, too. Like, it's a fucking staple now. You know?
Yeah. Hell yeah.
It's a trademark.
Music handled in this movie by Joe LaDuca, which I think is fucking top notch in this movie. It was one of my favorite parts of the movie was the music and the sound design, to be honest with you.
It's super fucking old school, man. It sounds like you're watching an old timey horror movie almost.
Sometimes, yeah.
Like there's not like fucking, it's not like music. You know what I mean? I mean, it is, but it's like, it's not like what you would hear nowadays.
It just depends on what part you're listening to, because they definitely have like complete score moments. There's a moment toward the end where it's just like this uplifting, like symphonic sort of.
And that's what I was getting at, is it's not like a fucking band. It's a fucking band. It's fucking like classical almost, or like orchestral. Yeah. You know what I mean?
Yeah. They do have a moment toward the end of this where Ash is running through the house where I kind of like, I snap to attention because all of a sudden they're playing this wild fucking synth score all of a sudden. And I love that shit, of course. But it just caught me off guard because nothing like that is anywhere else in this movie.
Right.
But other areas of it are just, you know, the sound design is that like the wind whooshing across the fucking area, and, you know, the creaks and thumps and like all the kind of shit.
Like there's not, is there a soundtrack for this movie? Like probably not.
I don't know.
You know what I mean?
That's a good question.
Like that's kind of what I meant when I said like it's not like fucking songs.
Yeah. So more recently than this movie, yeah, you had movies where, and I don't know if it still happens or not. I guess I assume it would. But yeah, you got fucking
like your original motion picture soundtrack. And it's a CD with the cover on it, and you have actual songs.
Right.
That's what I was getting at. With
something
this.
Like from like 2003, you'd have like, oh, hey, here's a song from Seether.
Like
here's
Freddy vs. Jason soundtrack. Which obviously it's so old it's not that, but what I meant was everything that's in here is like made for the movie.
It's all score.
It's not, right.
Yeah, right. Special effects handled in this by Tom Sullivan, who added coffee as an additional ingredient to the traditional corn syrup and food coloring for fake blood.
Yeah, gross, bro. And some of it's nasty as fuck.
It is, dude. Some of it gets a little over the top for me, to be entirely honest. Like, just the way that shit presents on screen, like weird colors they're throwing in, and just like, I don't know. We'll get to it.
Yep.
Of course, the thick glass contacts used to create the demonic eyes took 10 minutes to apply and could only be worn for 15 minutes because quote, the eyes couldn't breathe with them in.
My eyes are getting sweaty.
My eyes need some air, dude. I did put down a couple of taglines for this. Scream as your nightmares come true. Can they be stopped? The ultimate experience in grueling terror. And my favorite, they got up on the wrong side of the grave.
Hell yeah.
But yeah, let's go through a little bit of background here real quick. Raimi, Campbell, and Tappert made a short film titled Within the Woods as a proof of concept to secure investors, which they did to the tune of $90,000, but then they had to beg for a bunch more to complete the production.
Right.
Filming was purportedly extremely uncomfortable for the cast and crew, and the remote cabin in Morristown, with 13 crew members having to stay in it, led to a bunch of arguments, so shit was pretty tense during production the whole way through.
Right.
Not to mention, apparently Sam Raimi liked torturing his actors, claiming that their pain and misery translates to horror on film.
Heard that before.
You're right. And Bruce Campbell got a leg injury at one point, and Raimi fucking liked to poke it with a stick he found. Like, yeah, fuck you. Like,
I want to see some of your pain on film.
yeah, what
Make
the
this
fuck?
good.
You don't have to do it. You hired me because you thought I was a good actor, right? Let me act.
He wasn't known like he's known yet, you know.
Right.
It's all because of the leg poke.
Bruce Campbell is who he is today because of the leg poke. Apparently they got lost in the woods on the first day of filming as well. Fucking went days without showering, and it got so cold that they ended up burning nearly every piece of furniture inside this cabin to stay warm.
Yeah, I fucking heard about that. That's fucking brutal, dude.
So, I mean, perhaps it was demonic influence that caused this, because I guess the cabin itself ended up burning down shortly after production too.
Okay.
So it's one of those like cursed film situations. Right. But yeah, man, like, I don't know. I'm not a fan of torturing your actors and like going through, you hear a bunch of stories all the time, especially from back in these days where it's like they went to extreme lengths. Fucking William Friedkin fired a gun on set. Fucking
Some
Hitchcock
Texas
nailed
Chainsaw
shoes
stuff.
to the floor. Right, exactly. Yeah. I just don't think that's all fucking necessary, you know?
Right.
Shouldn't be, anyway. But yeah, you ready to get into this or what?
Yeah, I wanted to mention something about you said something about all the different colors and stuff here, and it was actually Raimi trying to get around the censor boards.
The rating, okay.
Yeah, he thought maybe they'd be lenient on him if it wasn't all bright red.
If it was a little more cartoonish.
Right, but I don't think the color of the liquid really mattered so much to him as, you know, it's still bodily fluids spraying out of different
Yeah,
holes.
it's more disturbing because you're like, what the fuck is that coming out of him, dude?
Yeah, I noted a few different times. I'm like, evidently before before demons fucking die, they spit out 2% milk. You know?
Yeah, exactly. There's the milk showers, it looks like.
But even then, you know, I thought, like, oh, okay, so the white shit comes out before they die completely. But then it happens, and Cheryl's still alive and
Right.
shit too. So I'm like, so what the fuck? There's like no...
Yeah. I mean, they
it's
go
not...
through what the method is to actually finally take him out, but there's an element to this that I was a little bit disappointed in. So we'll cover it when we get to it, because that doesn't take place until like halfway through, but let's do it. So when we open, we get right into it with some fog rolling across the screen. Our title card pops up right away, and we start that famous tracking shot through the woods.
Right.
Scary ass score ramping up, and then we cut to a sick yellow 1973 Oldsmobile Delta 88 Royale. That's a fucking mouthful. We're driving down the road, and fun fact, Sam Raimi has used this car as an Easter egg in almost all of his other projects, including Drag Me to Hell and those Tobey Maguire Spider-Man movies.
Oh, yeah.
We got 5 people packed into this thing, and they're singing terrible road trip songs to pass the time because apparently the fucking radio didn't work or some shit.
Radio? Who needs a radio?
We do, because this song is dog shit. But at least the 2 in the front seem to be enjoying it. And that's when we cut to a big old truck coming down the road toward them. That's when the driver, Scott, asks Ash in the back to check the map to see where the hell they are. And it's pretty clear Ash has no fucking idea.
Oh, yeah, for sure. And I mean, you can tell they're out in the middle of nowhere, too. This is pretty much a single lane fucking road.
Right.
Where the fuck are we, man?
It was written on the bumper of that truck a couple of times. Was that supposed to be like the truck's name? I think it was like Lazy Mary or some shit.
I fucking guess. You fucking naming your trucks, too.
I guess. People name their cars all the time, I guess.
I kind of get the boat, but...
Yeah. Oh, you got to name a boat.
Right. You start naming all these fucking cars, too.
Right. We get some more of that demon POV tracking through the woods, intercut with Ash trying to figure out where they are, and that truck speeding toward him. And then we get a terribly cut action moment where they almost crash with the truck head on, but Scott's able to cut the wheel just in time. And Ash is pissed, like, what the fuck are you doing, man? But Scott's all like, hey, man, it's not my fault. It's your piece of shit steering wheel. Okay, buddy.
Dude, the fucking chick on the window is ridiculous. She's
Yeah,
like,
dude. Shelly fucking, like, puts both arms up and she's like, ah! So silly. Ash, with a squeaky voice, tells him he just had the car in for a tune-up yesterday, and Scott tells him, we'll take it back because clearly they fucked up. The only thing that works on it is this lousy horn. And he honks it to demonstrate that, and there just happen to be two fishermen standing on the side of the road, and they think he's honking to say hi, so they wave like a couple of doofs. And Scott yells out the window, go to hell, I wasn't honking at you. Well, goddamn, man, you don't gotta fucking take it like that.
Let's say how fucking rude. Not you, dickhead.
Oh, shit, well, fuck me then. But here's where Scott gives them the rundown of where they're going. He tells everybody this cabin is a little, fucked up, but it's right up in the mountains, and that's why they got it so cheap. Could be in real bad shape, but that's when Cheryl leans in to ask more about it. And we get a goofy interaction between Ash and Linda where he says, well, it might not be that bad. And she's like, no. Actually, it might be kind of nice. Yeah. Like, goofy shit. Terrible acting in this, to be quite frank.
Trying to be positive, I guess, right?
Right. But Shelley up front starts to lament their decisions and says it's probably a real pit, and that's when they come up to a bridge they have to cross, with a sign warning them that it's specifically a dangerous bridge with only a 3-ton load limit. Cheryl's a little leery about crossing it, and rightly so, because it starts to fall apart the second they get on it.
Oh, yeah, dude. Fucking car falls through.
Yeah, dude. It kind of turns into a 3D movie for a second with the boards falling off into the water and shit falling, like, toward the camera. Which later they talk about, like, oh, is the bridge okay? Well, no, obviously, it doesn't surprise me that the bridge is destroyed when they get to it. It's, like, fucking shattered and, like, beyond repair, of course. But, like, even when they drive across it the first time, I don't know that I would risk driving across it a second time.
Yeah, it was pretty fucked, but I mean, at least the fucking frame was still there. Like, later on, it's all, like, peeled back.
It's, like gone.
It's like fucking Godzilla came through and, like, grabbed it and tore it out. Like, all the steel framing is, like, bent backwards.
Yeah.
Like.
Yeah, it's fucking wild, but...
Almost like it's from a fucking comic book.
Right.
Like, what the fuck happened here?
Well, Ash tries to reassure everybody, hey, don't let the noise fool you. This thing is solid as a rock, and bam, that's the moment one of the tires pops through some rotted wood to hang under the bridge.
Yeah, dude.
Brings him to a grinding halt for a second, and there's another goofy shot with Ash popping his head out the door to look down and assess the situation. And he's all smiley for some reason until he sees what's going on, but somehow, this is of absolutely no consequence because Scott manages to rev the engine and get the car out of this hole. I don't buy this one bit. That car would definitely have to be pulled out somehow.
Yeah, it was a little too easy, wasn't it?
Yeah, dude. Once they cross, we get this great tracking shot of the car through the last bit of the woods. It's one of my favorite shots in the movie because the car like slowly turns and it's going through.
Oh, yeah.
We're just like floating above it like a drone shot. Way before drones, by the way.
Yeah, this is the shot that, like, The Evil Dead is featured in a lot of different fucking movies, and this is always the clip that they're showing in the movie, usually. Like, I'm pretty sure they're watching it on Twister, right?
Yeah, I think so.
This is the part right before the screen. It's like the most well-known, not violent shot of the fucking movie, I think, is this car in the last tiny bit.
Right. It reminds me a lot of the shot from Texas Chainsaw Massacre that tracks under the swing up to the house and it's following, I can't remember her name right now, but the chick with the like red fucking shorts
Carolyn,
or whatever.
I think.
Yeah, whoever that was. It reminds me a lot of that. And it's a real nice moment where you're kind of just like, okay, let's get settled in. Here we come up to the cabin. They get up to the through the last bit of woods and the score comes back in to set the mood. Along with the sound of some banging, we'll get the origin of in a second. Did you notice this huge branch the car is dragging behind it for a while?
Dude, fuck yeah. I also kind of noticed that, like, the driveway that they're on, if you want to call it a driveway, is pretty much just grass. So you can tell nobody's been here for a long fucking time.
No.
Like, right away, I'm like, this is a cool shot, but I'm already uneasy. Like, ooh, I don't like the fucking look of this, man.
Right. It looks like it's at once wondrous and beautiful because they're like right in the middle of the mountains, as they mentioned, and it's great.
Yeah, it's what would be there's solstice. Would that be the right word? Like, it's calm and
solace.
Yeah, there you go.
Okay. Yeah, for sure. But they pull up to this fucking ramshackle old cabin in the middle of absolutely nowhere, right up in the mountains, indeed. And like, honestly, I could potentially fall victim to some shit like this because I know there's some demonic shit waiting in the wings in situations like this. Maybe some hellbillies hiding in the shadows, what have you. But damn, does it look nice out here. I think I was supposed to be a hermit or a Viking or some shit.
I'll say maybe. I'm getting the opposite vibes. I'm like, don't go in that fucking cabin. I don't know.
Don't
dude.
you go in that house?
I don't think so. There's just something, I don't know. Like, I definitely get what you mean, but at the same time, I'm like, maybe it's just because I already know what's going to happen. You know?
Yeah, maybe. Well, they all pile out of the car, and we see what that banging was coming from. There's a porch swing swaying fucking violently and smacking against the front wall of the cabin. Doesn't look like it's that windy out here, by the way.
That's what I was going to say. It doesn't seem like there's much of a breeze.
No.
The leaves be blowing around.
You would think, yeah. But Scott starts to walk up to the front door with the rest of them just kind of watching and waiting. And oddly enough, when he reaches the door, all of a sudden that swing stops.
Mm-hmm.
Just like that. No thank you. I'll be finding the nearest shithole motel.
Oh, yeah. This was like a really good shot, too, because them standing back at the car while Scott walks up and they keep panning makes it look like there's a lot of distance between those two, and there's really not.
No.
But I think it's trying to just show Scott's kind of by himself. And
He's vulnerable in this moment.
right. Yeah. Like, go in and check it out before we can come in.
Yeah, he reaches up, grabs the key, and when he opens the door, we get this creepy piano cue as we get our first glimpse inside, and there's like a deer head mounted on the wall with some like smoke drifting through the air. Where the fuck is that coming from?
I was going to say smoky or like almost, would that be some of that fucking like mold you got to watch out for?
Oh, shit.
That's like falling fucking spore. Like, I don't know.
It's just kind of some fog or steam. I don't know. It's weird. It doesn't have any place in here.
It's cabin steam. Cemetery
mold, cabin steam, whatever. Everything's fine.
Love the smell of death in the morning.
He turns on a light and he steps inside, which I'm fucking amazed there's electricity in this place.
I fucking said that too. Holy shit, no fucking way.
Right. First, who's keeping it on?
Where's the wire at? It
Yeah.
came from the fucking where?
There must just be like a stream nearby and there's like some fucking hydroelectric shit going on, maybe, I guess.
There's a wheel fucking turning.
But as deep as they are in the woods, how in the fuck, who is running lines to this place?
That's what I'm saying. There ain't no
Who's
fucking
paying
line
the
out
fucking
there.
bill? The Kandarian demon is just fucking making sure it stays funded. There's a bunch of antiques in this place. There's a big grandfather style kind of clock on the wall. It doesn't stand independently, but it's like hanging there and it looks kind of like a grandfather
Got like
clock,
a
we'll say.
pendulum and
Yeah.
yeah.
It looks pretty standard for a mountain cabin in here, really. But outside, they unload the car and we get a fun little moment where Linda's tossing shit out of the trunk for Ash to catch to put in a pile. And she throws two things high and he yells as he catches them. But then the third thing she throws low and hits him either in the stomach or right in the junk. And he doubles over and kind of grunts. I don't know why they're just tossing shit on the ground once it's out of the trunk, though. How about everybody just grabs a couple of things at a time and walks them into the fucking cabin? Then you don't got crunchy leaf bits all over your sleeping bag, you dumb shits. Why does the ground have to be involved in the unloading?
Super inefficient.
Probably wet and shit. So that's when Scott walks into a creepy shed out back with bones and skulls and fucking weapons and chains and shit hanging all over the place. Then he pulls the chain on the light bulb to get a better look, but doesn't seem too bothered by all this, so he fucking just turns it back off and walks out.
Yeah, dude. Seems kind of odd, but okay. I mean, there's always animal bones hanging from strings.
Yeah, that's just shed decor.
Yeah,
right?
Of course.
Yeah.
It's pretty typical for backwoods America,
Oh yeah, for sure.
Is it like Grandpa's fucking taxidermy room?
Yeah, dude.
He's just starting to set up a taxidermy shed. It's fine.
Stay the hell out of my taxidermy room and don't you touch my double thick Oreo cookies. We get a quick shot of the sun going down before cutting back into the cabin where they got a nice fire going. Cheryl's sitting there sketching the clock on the wall. And here's a question. How does she decide where to put the pendulum in the drawing if it's constantly moving? Isn't that a thing with sketches? The thing being sketched has to remain relatively still.
Yeah, for the most part, I would think so. Yeah.
Anyway, she does not look like she's dressed for a camping trip, by the way. She's wearing this long skirt and tights and fancy shoes.
Right.
And it's like eerily silent in here. Apparently everyone else is either asleep or just dead from the journey. Like, we had enough talking in the car. Everybody shut the fuck up when you're inside the cabin.
I'm so glad we're here.
Suddenly, to break the silence, the clock chimes, and to help her out with the sketch, it also decides it's going to stop the pendulum for her. Ah, there you go, Cheryl. Put the pendulum there.
It's kind of weird, though.
Yeah, off to the right a little bit.
It's not even on the hour, so what gives, man?
That's the thing, yeah. A couple things to point out here with this clock. As it chimes, we get a cut of the camera with each one. Like each chime, there's a different shot. There's a close-up of her eyes, a close-up of the pendulum, and then the clock face. But here's the deal. The time is set to 5:52. So why in the fuck is it chiming if it's not on the hour, number one? Also, how in the hell is it only almost 6 o'clock? It's dark as shit outside.
Yeah, dude. Must fucking not have daylight savings time.
Curse you, daylight savings time.
Nah, I think it's just the fucking demons, because right away, we can hear "Join Us" coming from outside.
Yeah, the clock chimes and suddenly the window gives way to the wind picking up, like blowing the curtains around like crazy.
Mm-hmm.
Cheryl gets freaked out, and yeah, like you said, there's voices on the wind just saying, "Join us." And that's when Cheryl's hand suddenly becomes possessed. And I like the makeup on just her hand right here. It's like pale and washed out with some dark veins running through it.
Yeah, dude, gross veins.
Yeah, she starts to tweak a little as her hand just starts moving on its own and drawing something she's not intending to. Looks like a shitty kindergarten pic of a book with a face on it, I guess. I don't know, whatever demon is doing this must not be very visually artistically inclined.
I didn't think it was too bad,
It's awful. What do you mean, dude?
I could tell what it was.
I'm terrible at drawing, and I could do way better.
Well, she is holding the fucking pencil like a caveman.
That is true. That is true.
You know.
I hate when people eat like that with forks, like, and shovel it into their face. Anyway, she looks at what she just accidentally drew, and suddenly there's a trap door on the floor right in front of her covered in chains, and it gives a couple loud bangs. Starts rattling and finally settles, and we get a jump scare in the editing here as it cuts to a loud-ass blender whirring, making drinks for everybody, and now all of a sudden we're having dinner.
Right, man, of course.
Which
red liquid in the blender.
Looks like it sucks. I see some corn on the table, a bowl of gravy maybe, a bottle of ketchup. Those things don't go together. Did they just try to make a little Friendsgiving feast in this cabin?
Yum.
Scott's
Gravy.
messing with Cheryl a little bit here, telling her, she must have told him what happened because he's like, it barks in the cellar a couple times.
All right.
And that's when Ash proposes a toast. He stands up above the salad bowl and proclaims, as a great friend of mine once said, he said, Nismis to Tarin. And they're all like, what the fuck is that supposed to mean? And Scott interjects with, party down.
They're just showing, because remember later on when he fucks up the words and fucking Army of Darkness.
Yeah. Yeah, Klaatu Barada Nikto or whatever. I don't like Scott at all at this point. Now, at this point in the movie, I'm like, does this motherfucker die soon? I'm tired of his ass.
Oh, really? I like Scott.
Later, he kind of redeems himself, I think.
Oh, he's kind of a dick later, too, though.
He
Big
is,
time, yeah.
but like he's the only one that does shit later. Like, we'll talk about it.
Yeah.
They all drink, but that's when the trap door just rips open behind Shelley, and they all jump up from the table to see what happened. And I love the score right here. Very classic horror film. They all crowd around the trap door to stare down into the abyss, and I love how the low-angle shot, spins to get to each of them speculating about what's going on. It's very That 70s Show.
Oh, hell yeah.
Around the table in the basement.
Right.
Linda's like, well, whatever it is, it's still down there. Cheryl guesses it's just an animal and suggests they just close it back up and, that'll make it go away.
Right. Not a good idea.
But then right here again, Scott fucking reams her for being a fucking idiot. He's like, an animal? That's the stupidest thing I ever heard. Jesus Christ. What do you mean? You're in the woods. Why are you being a prick, dude?
Yeah, he kind of lets her have it, I guess.
For what? He's like, you fucking idiot. There's no animals around here.
You think a raccoon kicked that fucking heavy ass?
Well,
trap
that's
door
I
open?
think is probably more the point he's trying to make.
Right.
But.
Yeah. I guess he could have just been nicer. Isn't this your buddy's little sister?
Right.
Yeah. Maybe tone it down a bit.
Shelley insists there's something down there, and Linda reiterates, it's probably just an animal. And fucking what's this? When Linda says it, Scott's like, yeah, you're probably right. Probably just an animal. Fuck you!
So maybe he's playing like a big brother a little bit. You know what I mean? Maybe he's like picking on her a little bit.
Maybe, okay.
Because it's hard to tell how close they are, but they all must be pretty fucking close.
I guess.
This cabin, also, I wanted to point this out. The cabin from the outside looks like it's fucking maybe one room, maybe two.
Yeah.
And then when they're inside later and there's a bunch of different rooms and shit, I'm always like, nah, it's not adding up for me.
I got some notes about that later, too. So Scott hands the flashlight over to Cheryl. He's like, hey, go check it out. She's like, hell no. Scott's like, all right, fine, I'll do it. And he gives the horror movie no-no line here. Back in a minute. Dun, dun, dun. We just kind of hang out waiting for some kind of action here until Ash leans over the hole to call down to Scott, but suddenly Scott's not answering.
Uh-oh.
Shelley assures Ash Scott just must be messing around, and he asks for a flashlight, but I guess they only brought the one. So he tells Linda to bring the shitty lantern instead. This thing fucking sucks, man. Would have been better off with a match. But the score ramps back up as we track Ash's feet creeping down these stairs, and he just looks around the darkness, like trying to find any sign of life. It's a cool, like, Blair Witch-style cellar here, though.
Dude, it's a lot fucking bigger. They said cellar, and I thought it would go directly down into a room, but I'm like, this is a fucking big-ass basement, dude.
A dirt hole is what I was expecting, but it's like, yeah, multiple rooms down here. And
huge basement, cellar in the back, you know? Yeah, it's fucking crazy. Also, much bigger than the fucking cabin upstairs somehow.
Right. Ash calls out to Scott again and notices the pipes are all leaking like a motherfucker. That's when he hears a bang from the other side of a door down there, so he walks toward it. And when he opens it, it fucking creaks, like all the way very slowly.
Mm-hmm.
He takes a few steps into this new room, and that's when Scott decides to pop up and say, boo! Laughs his ass off, all proud of himself for spooking his buddy, but then he steps over a little workbench down here. He's like, hey, look at all this stuff. Isn't it neat? Do you think the old owner's collection's complete? I noticed immediately the ripped poster on the walls for The Hills Have Eyes. Nice little Easter egg for the horror fans.
Absolutely.
But importantly, they find a shotgun, which Scott decides to aim right at Ash's face like an asshole.
Yeah, dude, not cool. I thought that right away. I would have been smiling.
Yeah, what the fuck, man? And a creepy-ass book with a face on it. Looks like it's made of rotten old skin. Where have I seen that before?
Yeah, dude. What do you think this is, Dusty?
I don't know. Let's open it up and find out. Ash starts to flip through the pages. It's just a bunch of demonic shit. Latin text and skulls and eyeball sketches and shit all through it.
It looks fun.
Yeah. Scott finds a crazy sacrificial dagger with a fucking skull on it that he tells Ash looks like his old girlfriend.
Yeah, dude, that fucking dagger's badass, too.
Yeah, dude. It's huge, dude. It's almost a fucking short sword.
Right.
And he tells Ash, all right, let's take all this shit upstairs. I'll grab the recorder. You grab everything else. And that's when we do a little crash zoom in on Ash, still looking at the book where he finds a drawing of the book in the book.
Yeah, dude. It's funny as fucking.
Like, what's the point of that?
A picture inside the book of the book, which looks like what Cheryl scribbled down when her hand was possessed earlier, too.
Drawing the book.
Yeah.
But, like, I don't understand what's the point of having a picture of the book in the book? Normally, it'd be like, okay, you come across this. Oh, hey, let's tell you about this thing that is a fucking, okay, well, where can we find this? This is shown up in this place in history or whatever.
Right.
But you're holding the fucking thing that the picture is of.
So I guess I should have paused it and got a better look. Was it a picture of the book on fire?
You know?
It could have been.
Now that you mention it, it absolutely fucking was.
I know, that's what I'm kind of thinking. If it was, it could have been, well, this is how you destroy it. So maybe it was kind of foreshadowing.
But then if this is the Book of the Dead, why would it advertise that? This is how you destroy me.
Yeah, so that doesn't make sense either.
It's all goofy.
Right.
But we get another jump scare cut of some shitty lightning striking a tree. The effects on it are terrible.
Oh, dude, I gotta fucking talk about this. So I love the scene transitions.
Yeah.
They're good here.
Yeah.
Like all of them. I note them every time. They're
good
all
in theory,
great.
anyway.
But this time with the lightning bolt striking the tree right outside the cabin just didn't do it for me because everybody inside would have been like, holy fuck.
Yeah, it would have been so fucking loud.
Right. Everybody's deaf.
They would have heard the branch snapping, you know.
Right. And it like shows the cabin, it shows the lightning, and there's a little bit of smoke, like so you can tell
a couple
it's
of
like
sparks,
right outside, you know, and I was like, dude, everybody would have shit their pants, you know?
It explodes like the lightning struck a transformer, dude.
Right. Boom! Holy shit!
Well, Scott's in the middle of telling a story. He's like, wow, this guy was a real turd. Everybody hated him. And then Linda interjects with, oh, right, just like you. He's like, yeah, just like me. I'm going to break your face. Like, that kind of made me stop and, like, do a double take for a second. Like, wow, that's a hell of a thing to say to somebody.
That's what I kind of thought, too. That seems a bit much again.
Yeah.
Wow. Too much, Scott.
Yeah, just these fucking violent dudes, like blue-collar dudes in the fucking 70s and 80s, man. Goddamn.
Break your fucking face, girl.
Everybody should have shut up at that point, like, oh. But Ash interrupts Scott's story because he's finally got the tape recorder up and running, so he quiets everybody down to play what's on it. And there's a very old-style narration that kicks in here where a guy tells us, it has been a number of years since I began excavating the ruins of Kandar with a group of my colleagues. Now my wife and I have retreated to a small cabin in the solitude of these mountains. Here I continued my research undisturbed by the myriad distractions of modern civilization and far from the groves of academe. I believe that I have made a significant find in the Kandarian ruins, a volume of ancient Sumerian burial practices and funerary incantations. It is entitled Naturam de Monto, roughly translated, Book of the Dead. The book is bound in human flesh and inked in human blood, and that's when Linda reaches for the tape recorder to turn it off, but Ash catches her hand and just holds it like, nah, it's just getting good.
Don't change the fucking channel.
The voice on the tape comes back in with, it deals with demons, demon resurrection, and those forces which roam the forest and dark bowers of man's domain. The first few pages warn that these enduring creatures may lie dormant, but are never truly dead. They may be recalled to active life through the incantations presented in this book. It is through recitation of these passages that the demons are given license to possess the living. And that's when Cheryl decides she's had enough and reaches over and successfully turns off the tape recorder. Fuck that, no thank you.
Yeah, dude, it was just getting good.
Well, no, I mean, that's what she's saying. Fuck that, no thank you.
Oh.
But Scott's like, yeah, what the shit, man? It's yeah, I wanted to hear the rest of it. And she tells him, shut up, I'm not scared, you're scared. But he fucking starts making like the goofy Twilight Zone sound.
Spooky noises.
Right. Ash is like, stop messing with her, dude. So Scott leans over to turn it back on to listen to the rest. And when
Fast forwards a bit here.
Right.
So I feel like right up until this point, there was nothing wrong yet.
Sure.
So far, it was just a really cool story.
Yeah.
But, you know, asked for a little bit more. And
yeah, girls were just getting spooked, and now you took it too far.
Right.
Yeah. When he turns it back on, suddenly the voice on the tape is speaking what sounds like Latin, perhaps. And listen, man, that's exactly when you turn it the fuck back off. Do not mess around with the incantations fucking ever.
It's Sumerian chants, according to the subtitles.
Right.
And it's kind of funny, like, actually deep diving into this movie and stuff because of a lot of the music that I listen to with death metal and stuff. There are so many things.
Oh, yeah.
Like record labels, band names, songs that all pull from this fucking movie and the series of movies. It's fucking insane.
Yeah, I think you mentioned something about that when we did As Above, So Below, talking about the Parisian catacombs and shit. Yeah, similar stuff there too.
Yeah.
But right on cue, we cut outside as this voice booms much deeper and smoke starts to pour out of the ground. Outside the cabin as the recitation continues, suddenly the ground starts to shake and rise and emit a red light from beneath some leaves.
Right.
And Cheryl starts losing her shit, screaming at him to shut the damn tape recorder off. She stands up and screeches with her hands over her ears, and right then, a huge branch comes crashing in through the window, and she fucking runs off.
Shut it off!
Yeah, fucking Halloween 3, turn it off! But Shelly goes to check on her, and Ash starts to yell at Scott for being a dick. He's like, you knew not to play that. You just don't know when you're taking things too far. But we're ignoring the bigger point here, which is, okay, but why did this branch just come careening through the window at that exact moment? That's a little sus.
Had nothing to do with her being pissed off.
Right.
And we got Conda here roll loud, too.
Yeah, Conda. Yeah.
Which evidently is all we need for part 1.
Right. Well, Scott fucking fires back at Ash. He's like, fuck you, man. You didn't stop it either. And fuck Cheryl, too, by the way. She's nuts. Oh, cool. Glad you guys are such good friends and care so much about each other.
So there's that family dynamic, dude. Maybe they're all a lot closer than we thought.
He's just a dick. He's like, Jesus Christ, she acts like she's 3 years old. Or 3 years old or something. But Ash tries to fix the window the best he can, and we cut to a little later where Ash and Linda are sitting on the couch, and he suggests staying up for a while to listen to the storm outside. Hell yeah, good plan. But she goes to check on Cheryl first, but she says, I'll be right back. I almost expected it to be like, since they're in this tiny cabin together, she should have been like, let me check on Cheryl first. And then still sitting on the couch, she just turns her head to where Cheryl is and goes, okay, yeah, she's good. Anyway, you were saying?
That's what I was saying. This cabin on the inside is way bigger than on the outside.
Right.
It looks like it's a fucking one-roomer.
Mm-hmm. But when she walks away, Ash leans into the frame with a little box and he kind of grins and ducks back out. And when Linda comes back, he sits on the couch pretending he fell asleep, but he's holding that box. So she investigates while he kind of peeks at her and like, ooh, this is going to be good. And the score is oddly uplifting violin music here with some close-ups on their eyes. And like every time she peeks over at him, he closes his eyes again until finally she's comfortable enough to grab the box. And finally she catches him with his eyes open and kind of does a, hey, I gotcha.
Right.
Kind of cute, but listen, Ash needs to do something about this fucking unibrow, man. It's rough.
I feel like this scene felt really odd, but I think it's just to play on the scene later.
A little out of place, and it establishes the relationship between them a little further. Like, this is kind of the first clue we get into them being a couple.
Oh, yeah.
You
That's
know?
true.
So they have to establish that before all of a sudden crazy shit starts happening and you have to start killing your friends and
Right.
girlfriend.
And then there's a scene later where they're playing with the eyes on that too, though, where he's looking to see if she's awake.
There is a callback to that. Yeah.
So I almost think they did it because, like I said at first, it didn't really. I'm like, why is this even? What's with the shots the way that they are? But I think it was to kind of
It's
show
to set that up, yeah.
right? Because later it's gonna be like,
Right. Much different circumstances, but yeah.
Right, but it's like reversed then too,
Right.
You know, but the same thing. Close your eyes,
Right.
like, oh no, I'm not awake.
He snatches the box back from her and accuses her of stealing from the blind, but he hands it right back, saying, "Oh, this is for you. I was going to give it to you before, but..." And she opens it, and it's like a little magnifying glass hanging on a chain.
Yeah, like a necklace, which I expected a wedding ring or something here for some reason.
Something like that, yeah.
You know?
But he puts it around her neck, and she tells him, "Oh, I love it. It's beautiful. I'll never take it off, blah, blah, blah." They have a little makeout session in front of the window, and that's a bad place to stand because we got a fucking demon peeping Tom outside.
So I thought we would at least get some kind of explanation for this necklace and what it is.
Nope.
You know, but no, there's nothing there.
Not even a little.
But I was like, damn, dude, you know you were giving it to her? 'Cause that shit's like touching her belly button. It's like fucking long.
There's a part later where he like grabs it off the ground to pick it back up and puts it in his pocket. And I'm sure it's a thing like, oh, something to remember her by, but it's like, what are you going to give that to your next girlfriend? You fucking cold piece of shit.
I don't want to have to rebuy this.
Right. It's like fucking like giving someone else the engagement ring you were intending to give to someone else. Like, you can't do that, dude. Come on. But this POV shot kind of bounces around to each window from the outside to get a look at what everybody's doing. Ash and Linda are sitting down next to the fire getting all horned up for each other. Shelly and Scott are in their room getting naked.
Oop, titties.
So this is giving the demon some ideas, right? He's kind of horny now too. So he finally goes over to Cheryl's room where she's just sitting there brushing her hair in the mirror with her little sketchbook beside her. Still on the page with the crazy book she drew earlier, by the way. And she looks down at it like, what the fuck was this anyway? And that's when we hear another demonic, "Join us." And she stands up, looks out the window and closes her robe a bit, and then makes the terrible decision to fucking wander off by myself into the woods to investigate.
Yeah, doesn't call for her brother.
No,
doesn't call
brings it to
for
no one
her-
else's attention. That's the first thing I would have done.
Didn't call dickhead Scott to come out here and
Right.
get raped by a tree instead.
She goes outside and fucking just yells into the night, "Is anybody out there?" And we get some fucking awesome shots of fog rolling through the woods here and this huge fucking moon on the horizon, although it's not very bright.
No, like you said, this makes no fucking sense. She's like the youngest person here, and she's, you know, I'm gonna go out there and get it myself, and she might as well have said, "I'll be right back, guys."
Right. Yeah, exactly. She told with her actions to the audience, "I'll be right back."
Right.
But you will. Well, I guess you will, but I don't know what she's thinking, but she wanders quite a ways from the cabin here. She's like, "I know someone's out here. I heard you in the cellar." All right, so if you know it's not any of your friends, what are you fucking doing out here by yourself? Why you ain't telling nobody there's some shit going down outside? I don't get it. But this is a fucking wild scene, man. The voice kicks back in saying, "Join us," and a tree branch kind of whips past her face. But that's when the score kicks up again and we see a bunch of vines moving on their own, crisscrossing all over the place, wrapping around each of her limbs as she screams. And then these vines and branches very intentionally start tearing her clothes off, like sawing down the back of her fucking robe or whatever to take it off.
Dude, she almost kind of gets like, I don't know if lashings is the right word.
Kinda, yeah. Like lacerations.
There we go. Yeah, like you said, cuts into her clothes and tears her clothes off, but then she gets fucking like, it sounds like a fucking whip. Like, you see marks on her back. It's like, God damn.
Yeah, there's some crazy sound design shit, like I said, going on through this entire movie. Like later when Ash is like securing Linda to the table, each time he like hooks a fucking hook in, it's just like, snap. Yeah, right. But yeah, the vines like hold her to the ground. She tries to put a hand over her tit to keep herself covered, but Vine's like, "Fuck that, let me see them titties."
I was gonna say Vine gets a titty too. It's kind of crazy, dude.
He pulls her hand away to expose her, and then these vines slowly pull her legs apart, and one of these branches creeps up between her legs and, yeah, right up the old hoo-ha.
Well, it looked like it was going to be all calm and creepy, like they were coming along the ground and stuff. It like wrapped around her leg, but then you get a shot where it looks like a fucking broom handle, and it's like,
yeah, dude. Yeah, just fucking spears into her.
right. And you don't see anything. It's not super, but it's just, it's in the general area, you know.
Bro, like, she kind of rides around a bit trying to get away. This poor girl getting tree raped. I guess this demon really got some wood for her.
Yeah, dude, it's a pretty fucked. I mean, I feel like this is probably one of the most known scenes in horror.
It's one of the most off-putting, like, what the fuck is going on here?
Right.
But finally she stands up and rips the branches off to run back to the cabin, feeling violated and mostly uncovered now. And I gotta say, if you haven't seen this movie before, it's quite unexpected.
Oh, fuck yeah. Uncomfortable.
But I realize there's kind of a callback to it in Evil Dead Rise in that elevator scene.
Yeah, oh, fuck yeah.
So that's pretty cool. I like that movie a lot.
Definitely.
So she runs back to the cabin, tripping all over the place, being chased by this demon POV. She does make it, but here's my question. Is this where the possession officially took place? Like, did the demon succeed in, like, impregnating her with his demon seed? Mm-hmm. And then the evil grew from that? Is that the idea?
Yeah, I don't even fucking know.
I'm going to fuck you with a tree. Tree come inside you and you're going to be my demon baby. I don't know.
This is definitely where she's fucking possessed now, for sure.
She gets back to the door and bangs on it, screaming for Ashley. No one's answering, though, so she remembers the keys are above the door, and luckily this is a slow-ass demon because she's struggling with this key for quite a long time, until Ash finally, like, silently opens the door and just grabs her to pull her inside.
Where the fuck is everyone again? This place is not that big.
Right, you don't hear her fucking yelling from fucking 50 yards away?
Right. Yeah, there's no sound inside. There's
no TV,
on,
there's no fans
radio
running, there's no nothing like that. You'd be able to hear fucking everything. But apparently, that's where the demon's powers end, because, oh no, a door, drat, I've been foiled again. He can't fucking crash in through here.
Yeah, I can't come inside unless you invite me.
That's what she said. Back inside, everyone's crowded around Cheryl now, like, hey, what the fuck happened? And Ash is like, did something in the woods do this to you? And here's where she starts to sound like a Looney Tune. She's like, no, it was the woods themselves. Dun, dun, dun. They're alive, Ashley. The trees are alive. Yeah, we know they're alive, bitch. They're trees.
Yeah.
Different kind of alive than us, but, you know, they're alive.
Photosynthesis.
Well, that's when Linda pipes in to suggest, let me go take Cheryl to lie down. And Cheryl's like, bitch, I'm not lying down anywhere. We need to leave right now. Yeah, that's definitely the move. But of course, this is a horror movie, so don't trust the woman. Scott says, fuck that. I'm not going anywhere. Not tonight anyway. Which, I mean, it's an understandable call in this case, too. Like, it's dark as fuck out. There aren't any streetlights for miles. What if you run off the road? What if a deer runs out in front of you and you crash? Like, so I don't completely hate fighting against the leaving argument.
Yeah, dude, they're pretty fucking far out. It's pitch black out there.
Yeah.
You said, I'm surprised there's electricity in this fucking cabin.
Oh, yeah. Ash tries to talk some sense into her, like, all right, this doesn't make any sense. Trees don't attack people. But here's where she, like, grabs him to really get his attention. Like, listen, motherfucker, are you going to drive me into town or not? And she's barking up the right tree here, at least. Like, oh shit, sorry, too soon. But Ash is, like, the most likely to listen and decide to do something about it. So there's a good dynamic happening here.
Oh, yeah.
He's like, okay, I'll take you into town, but listen to yourself. And she's like, I don't give a fuck how it sounds. Both me and my vagina know what happened, and I'm filing a police report against those trees. So Ash grabs his coat and they walk out into the fog in this really cool shot with like floodlights pouring out of the cabin. And Ash walks her to the car, they get in, everyone's real quiet, and he goes to start the car, and it's not turning over. What the fuck now, this piece of shit? Scott told you to take it back.
I don't think it's the car here, and neither does Cheryl. You know? She says it's not going to let us leave, but right on cue, the car starts. So maybe sixth time is the charm?
I fucking guess, yeah. They drive off, and the other three kind of chuckle and walk back inside. We join Ash and Cheryl on the drive, but suddenly Ash stops the car and tells Cheryl, hey, hang tight a minute, I got to check something out. She calls after him a couple of times, but he doesn't answer. She's like, Ashley, still nothing. So she gets out and wanders out into the night looking for him, and I'll tell you what, they cover a lot of ground really quick. All of a sudden, the headlights on the car are like way in the distance.
Yeah, dude. And this is a really tense scene, actually. You know, you're like, where in the fuck did he take off to?
Yeah.
Really quickly, you know.
She starts to walk down this path and a tree branch lowers in front of her to like block her path like a Swiss guard holding a poleaxe or something.
Yeah, dude. How fucking rude. Trees are like, hi, how you doing?
But she continues anyway. I would assume she would have a much stronger reaction to trees moving in any way for the rest of her life.
I was going to say, fucking... Hey, how you doing?
But she gets through it. She steps under it and finds the bridge completely fucking destroyed. Oh, hell no. Now what?
The beams are bent upwards.
Dude, it's nuts. It's fucking just shattered.
It's comical. There's no fucking way.
Yeah, dude. The score intensifies as she assesses the damage, and this thing is just completely crumbled down to the studs. So she freaks out and runs back, and I don't know how they didn't cross paths walking back and forth to this bridge.
Like, where'd he go?
Yeah, but just before she makes it back to the car, Ash jumps out with a little Leatherface jump scare and catches her, almost tackles her into the damn car.
Fucking scares the fuck out of all of us watching.
She just breaks down at this point, screaming, "It's not gonna let us go!" And this is a really cool shot of the two of them in front of the headlights of the car, and she's just kind of writhing around. She drops to her knees, having a fucking panic attack. The rest of the screen is just darkness.
Right.
But we cut to a shot of an axe being held high in the air, and when it comes down, we see, oh, it's just Scott chopping some wood outside to bring in for the fire.
Mm-hmm.
And I like that everybody else is in the frame here, too, through the window behind him. That's another good shot.
Yeah, for sure.
Ash is fucking around with the tape recorder again, and he turns it on to the male voice saying, "I know now that my wife has become host to a Kandarian demon. Oh shit. I fear the only way to stop those possessed by the spirits of the book is through the act of bodily dismemberment." Wait, what the fuck? That's a big swing, dude. Your answer instead of just exorcism is, fuck it, let me chop my wife into pieces.
Whatever you gotta do, you know?
He says, "I would leave now to avoid this horror, but for myself, I have seen the dark shadows moving through the woods, and I have no doubt that whatever I have resurrected through this book is sure to come calling for me." And importantly, we should point out that no one else can hear this. I didn't know that this technology existed in 1981, but he's listening through an earbud plugged into the recorder.
Right.
So it's not playing through the machine's main speaker,
Right.
which is probably for the best.
Which, my first question was, at this point, I don't think everybody's convinced that something's happening from that book. Like, Cheryl's acting kind of crazy, but the only thing bad that's happened other than her acting crazy is, oh, what the fuck happened to the bridge? But all of a sudden he's like, you know what? Let's go back and listen to this recording again. I was just kind of like, I don't know if that really added up to me,
Yeah, right. We cut over to Linda and Shelley playing a little game here. Shelley's holding up cards and Linda's trying to guess them, but not with much luck. This is very much like Ghostbusters when fucking Bill Murray's like doing the ESP test to the girls. Like, "That's amazing. You're truly gifted," or whatever.
Oh, yeah. She's totally bullshitting her.
Yeah, like, even though Shelley's telling her, she's nailing it.
Right.
It's pretty funny. Like, Shelley holds up a 9 of diamonds and Linda guesses a 7. And at first she says diamonds, but changes it to hearts. So she's totally wrong. But Shelley's like, "Oh my God, that's amazing. I can't believe it. That's exactly right." And Linda gets all excited. I like when they cut over to Ash. She's fucking like not paying attention at all. He's like, "Yeah, truly amazing, Linda. That's great." She's convinced she's got ESPN or something. And so they try another one. Shelley holds up an 8 of hearts and Linda guesses a 7 again, which is incredibly unlikely. I don't know why she went for that one. The odds of it also being a 7 are nuts, even though it wasn't. You know what I mean? But she tells her, "Yep, right again." And here's where things get interesting, though. Suddenly, Cheryl starts to call out cards, and she's nowhere near them. She's looking out the window, and she calls out the Queen of Spades as Shelley's holding it, followed by the 4 of Hearts, 8 of Spades, etc., guessing everyone right, and rifling through them pretty fast, too. And she starts to get really loud and crazy about it all of a sudden. She's like, 2 of Spades, Jack of Diamonds, Jack of Clubs. And that's when she screams this last one and suddenly whips around to look at him. And holy fuck, she's all demoned out now.
Fuck yeah, like floating too.
The makeup here is crazy with those wild contacts in as she turns around and roars at him. And this was called back to an Evil Dead Rise as well, with the girl reciting the book the other one was reading without looking at it.
Oh yeah.
But Cheryl turns around scaring the shit out of the rest of them. Except Scott, he's still outside chopping wood. "Hey man, I got a good idea what else you can do with that axe." But that's when a distorted male voice starts to apparently come out of her, even though her lips aren't moving, so it's just kind of disembodied coming from somewhere around them at first. But they're like, "Why have you disturbed our sleep?" And she rises up into the air.
Mm-hmm.
"Awakened us from our ancient slumber. You will die like the others before you." And now the voice is coming out of Cheryl as she just floats in front of the window. That's not fucking good. "One by one we will take you," and she finally falls. That's when Scott walks back in with the axe like, what the fuck happened? And Linda and Ash kneel down beside her, and Linda asks what's wrong. "Did you see her eyes? Oh my God, I'm scared." And Ash leans in to touch her face, which is all scratched up now, but secretly her creepy-ass hand with this nasty, rotten skin makeup is reaching for a pencil laying on the floor beside her,
Right.
which she grabs, and in this creepy motion, she sits up all fast and holds it aloft, and then kind of smiling, she brings it back down into Linda's ankle. Oh, shit.
Dude, she like twisted around in there.
Yeah, she doesn't only stab it in, she kind of pulls it around and digs in there for a bit, ripping the skin as much as possible, fucking blood pouring out. And then Cheryl hauls off and backhands the fuck out of her, sending her flying across the room and smacking into the wall. Holy shit.
Fucking Ash, too, dude. So
Yeah.
the demons are fucking strong.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, he like grabs her hand with the pencil in it, but she takes the other hand and grabs him by the face and fucking tosses him across the room.
Yeah, dude, it's kind of cartoonish.
Oh, yeah.
when they go flying, man.
She stands up and slowly walks toward him with the pencil fixing to fucking take his ass out. And that's when Scott runs up to stop her. She tosses him too, but he manages to get back up and like gun butt her in the face with the axe handle, knocking her down.
Fucking Ash is comically trapped underneath this bookshelf after he went flying. And I wanted to note that because it fucking happens again later.
Yeah.
And I'm like, how are you caught up in this bookshelf again?
Why does this keep happening to me?
Let me out. You know, like fucking wow. You're supposed to be the fucking hero here.
Exactly. And that's part of my point. Here's where it starts, where like Ash isn't really doing shit through a lot of this. Scott's the one that fucking steps up. And she falls, Cheryl falls right next to the open cellar door when he knocks her down. So he runs up and boots her into it like he's kicking a fucking field goal.
Right.
He even bounces a little bit. And Cheryl tumbles into the trapdoor and Scott closes it up on top of her. She puts up a fight for a minute, but there's this terrible dummy they made that doesn't look like Cheryl at all.
That's what I was fucking going to say too. I was like, there's no way that that's fucking Cheryl. But then I almost kind of wonder because it looks like a fucking dummy. And maybe it is so he can fucking hit it. You know what I mean?
Right. Exactly.
But then her makeup looks pretty fucking close when she's down there.
I feel like it looks like just a possessed old woman. It doesn't have any of her features anymore.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, she's kind of covered in...
It's in the darkness a little bit too, which
Right.
helps a smidge, I guess. But yeah, Scott smacks like the the face a couple more times with the axe and finally succeeds in closing the door on her.
It's like that game at the fucking arcade.
The whack-a-mole.
Yeah. Like, get the fuck down there.
Yeah, she's yelling, join us again. She tries one last ditch effort to reach her hand up through the door, but he smashes it with the axe and finally locks her in the cellar. Pulls the chain tight, kneeling on top of the door, and he's like being jostled around the whole time.
That's right, dude. His eyes are all fucking huge here. Like, I think he's a pretty decent actor, man. I think he does a good job. He looks like he's taking in what just happened.
Yeah, I get they all have their moments, but I don't know if any of them are particularly good actors. I don't know.
I guess maybe we got to define good actor.
Yeah.
Yeah,
by what terms?
There's
yeah.
no Oscars happening here.
No. Yeah, he finally secures the door closed. That's when we cut away to get a quick exterior shot before cutting back to Ash checking in on Linda. She's sleeping. And he tucks her in and gives her a little goodnight kiss, comes back out to join the others. That's when we get a little sick POV shot of Cheryl peeking out from the crack in the cellar door.
Yeah, dude, fucking sweet.
Yeah, Scott and Shelley are over by the fire and kind of like, her hand is kind of poking out of the cellar. Ash comes out to join them and Scott mentions that they should get the fuck out of there. And Ash is like, well, we only got a few more hours until morning. But Shelley's like, I can't wait that long. Doesn't matter. You don't really have a choice. Can't really drive through this shit at night.
Right. Well, there's no fucking bridge.
Right.
You're not going anywhere.
Right. Scott mentions in the morning, oh, we can grab the car, we can take the bridge, which is like, Ash must not have told him about this yet. But Shelley interrupts, asking why Cheryl keeps making these horrible noises, and I love Ash yelling at her, I don't know!
Yeah. Yeah, her eyes. What happened to her eyes?
Yeah, Shelley's freaking out. We cut down to a nice view of possessed Cheryl just laughing her ass off down there.
Mm-hmm.
Another demon POV tracking shot creeping up toward the cabin from outside again, and Shelley once again brings it to their attention something's out there. We see the porch swinging again, and through the window, Scott tells Shelley to just go to bed, get some sleep, but when she goes into the bedroom, she watches as this POV comes crashing in through the window, and Shelley screams as the glass breaks in toward her, and the two boys out in the main room are awfully slow to get up to check on what happened.
Yeah, they're like, God damn it, dude.
Yeah,
For
not again.
real?
Another
More?
fucking window?
Oh, I bet this isn't going to be a fucking issue.
I thought it was funny.
Another fucking demon in the other room. All right, I'll go fucking check on it.
It was funny, though. Scott is just sitting by the fire with that crazy dagger, but for some dumbass reason, he puts it down when he stands up to go check like a dumbass.
Right.
As he walks toward the door, I also thought it was funny that Ash was sitting about 1.5 feet away from it, but totally not giving a shit. He's like, I'm not going to check that shit out.
Not it.
That's your lady.
Yeah, that's your girlfriend.
Right.
You take care of it.
Scott walks through into his and Shelley's room to find her missing. Glass and window frame pieces all over the place. Fog's rolling into the room. And he gets the bright idea to look in the closet. Nothing there. So he calls out to Shelley. No avail, of course. He crosses the room to check the bathroom, slowly walking toward the tub shower. And he rips the curtain to the side, and there's nothing there either. But when he turns around, Shelly's standing right behind him, grabs him by the throat, and scratches a finger down the side of his face, ripping it open.
Yeah, this is pretty good, though.
There's a crazy close-up where you can see her fingernails bending backwards, and it always, skeeves me out to see fingernail stuff happening.
Gross.
But suddenly, Scott stumbles backwards out of the bathroom, back into the main area, with Shelly riding him like a bull, fucking grabbing at him, kind of biting at his face maybe a little bit. And when he throws her off of him, he tosses her into the fucking fireplace, and her head is set ablaze for a moment.
Fucking nice.
And he kneels down to pull her out, and there's a hilarious little,
"Oh, thank you. I don't know what I would have done if I had remained on those hot coals burning my pretty flesh. You have pretty skin. Give it to us."
like she's fucking Gollum all of a sudden. But I gotta say, I know this was a cheap production. I don't like the makeup much at all.
No?
Maybe they could have put a little more into it. It just looks sloppy and incomplete. As she's laying on the ground here, there's a nice little fleshy, bloody spot on her cheek. Okay. There's some dark, veiny shit going on. All right, fine. She's got the contacts in. Those look creepy. But the whole bottom of her nose is totally ignored and just looks like her regular human nose. And I just saw a lot of inconsistencies like that throughout that kind of bothered me.
Right.
But anyway, Shelly sits back up to choke Scott out some more. Cheryl's losing her shit cheering her on. And Ash runs over to help Scott, but Shelly punches him across the room, busting another bookshelf.
Yeah, dude, he gets trapped. Again.
Again. I got trapped by a bookshelf. Again.
Yeah.
But that's when she gets Scott down on his knees in front of the fireplace and starts pushing him backward into it. And at one point, instead of fighting her, he reaches his arms toward the fire. Is that going to help, dude?
Yeah, just fucking, I don't know, Scott. What are you doing?
Shelly reaches down to pick up that ancient dagger to get Scott with, and he takes the opportunity to pull a buck knife out of his belt. He goes to try to cut her hand off with it, but he only gets so far until she tosses him down. And I'm going to ignore the fact that you can see her makeup mask literally coming off of her face to focus on the fact that Shelly just decides to finish the job for him. What the fuck?
Yeah, dude, she gnaws off her own fucking hand.
Holds her wrist up where he was cutting, up to her mouth. And at first it looks like she's just trying to drink her own blood so as not to lose it or something.
Right.
But then she starts fucking chomping, eventually biting through her own wrist with the hand with the dagger still in it falling to the ground. What the fuck?
Fucking cool.
That's something about these Evil Dead movies. They're not afraid whatsoever to fuck themselves up and kind of do it on purpose sometimes. Like Freddy when he slices off his fingers, haha, you can't do anything to me. I'm gonna do it to myself, bitch. But that did remind me. Did you hear the story from the other day with the lady getting pulled over because the cop was like, "Hey, I saw you driving with your phone in your right hand," and she fucking holds up her hand and she doesn't have one. It's just a stump. She's like, "Oh, I went to court this morning and the case was dismissed." And apparently the reason for the dismissal was, and I quote, "lack of evidence."
Yeah, she's like this. "Ma'am, I think you were texting with your right hand," and she's like,
Yeah, no, I wasn't.
Yeah.
You want to try that again?
She was like, And then she did it again.
Oh, God.
I saw the video of it.
Bro.
She's like, I can't, I don't have it.
It was so, it was so funny. I just saw that story, and now all of a sudden, here we are. Fucking, is that what happened to that girl? Did she chew off her own hand? Did she get it stuck in a train track or something?
She might have.
Anyway, Ash is kind of just standing off to the side with the axe, totally freaked out, not knowing what to do. But then Scott grabs the dagger with the hand still on it, and for some reason, instead of just stabbing old Stumpy here in the heart, he leans forward and reaches around her back, stabbing her there instead. And what kind of fucking weird move is that? That's way harder.
It's pretty cool, though.
And she screams, of course, trying to reach behind her to pull it out. But maybe that's the reason. She's only got one hand now, and she's struggling to remove it. And we get a close-up of the skull on the dagger with her blood pouring out of its mouth.
Yeah.
As though it's sucking it out of her, so she continues screaming the super extended scream. And we cut back to her face, and once again her eyes are closed, and there's absolutely no makeup on them whatsoever, like her eyelids.
Oh, yeah.
And she falls to the ground and kind of grabs at the tip of the dagger sticking out of her stomach for a second, and then she starts to have a little Wicked Witch of the West, I'm melting moment. And she starts convulsing, and then all this fucking white liquid starts to shoot out of her, like she's spraying milk out of her orifices. Her arm looks like it's straight up coming.
Vitamin D.
She's throwing a bunch of this white shit up, finally has a final death rattle, apparently. Stops moving. So, turns out this dagger is pretty important. Y'all better keep it handy. Oh, fuck me, never mind. She stood back up.
Yeah, she's not dead.
And she grabs his leg for a second, and he gets away and starts to kind of back across the room, and she slowly walks toward him. He's calling out to Ash, who's got the axe. Hit her! Fucking hit it! And Ash is frozen in fear, so Scott grabs the axe from him and brings it down on her head like he's trying to ring the bell for a prize at the fucking fair. And she just goes down like a curtain, dude. He's fucking had enough. He chops her hands off. He goes to town on her. Her hands and feet doesn't stop until she's just in pieces. And he didn't hear anything about the dismemberment shit. He's just decided, I'm fucking ending this. And we get a cool shot of blood cascading down the lens of the camera.
Oh, yeah.
And then finally everything gets quiet. The parts are like wiggling around on the ground. But Shelley is finally done for.
Yeah, gross, dude. Everything's fucking shaking when you look.
Right. And Ash and Scott just stand there like, what the fuck was that? And I like that the dagger's still sticking out of her back as well.
Yeah, her torso's all intact, but like everything else.
I love the twitches, all the body parts just
right.
But it turns out Homeboy on the recording was right. The only way to stop this is through dismemberment, which I was a little disappointed the dagger didn't seem to be as consequential as I thought. Like, I was expecting it to be like the Excalibur that you need. Like, that's the only weapon that'll take these beasts down. But no, you can just use any old axe you got lying around.
Right. Yeah, Ash is freaked out, man. It's kind of like, what are we going to do? It's like, we're going to bury your Ash.
Yeah.
Shelley's dead.
Of course.
Like, what the fuck are you talking about?
Why is he so aghast at this? Like, we can't bury her. She's a friend of ours. Yeah, and she's fucking dead, dude. Chopped up into a bunch of little pieces. The polite thing to do is indeed bury your friend, or maybe start chucking her into the fire. I don't know. But it's much more disrespectful to just leave her twitching on the fucking floor here.
Yeah. Ew.
Fucking arms flopping around like a fish down there. And we cut to the two of them dragging this bloody sheet outside, struggling like a motherfucker with it. They pick a weird spot to put her to. The area they start digging around in is covered by hay for some reason. But they finish the job. They go back inside. Another quick demon POV shot. But then we cut back inside of the two of them trying to come up with a game plan. Ash is like, okay, Linda's still sleeping. And I don't know how the fuck she could sleep through all this shit, by the way.
Yeah, that seems like that would have been kind of loud.
All of the screaming and thumping and crashing and all of the shit, yeah.
The chopping up of bodies.
The chopping and the dragging and the fucking... Ash says something about Linda's leg. Scott interrupts him, telling him, I'm getting the fuck out of here.
Yeah.
And Ash argues, well, we can't take Linda anywhere with her leg like that. But I mean, what, are you just going to leave her here? Stay here with her and the demons? You got to do something.
Yeah, dude, he gets pretty cutthroat. It's kind of like, I'm getting out, man. She's your girlfriend. You worry about her.
Yeah,
you know,
that's the fucking cold-blooded part about it. He's like, all right, just leave her here then until we can send somebody back or something. I don't care what happens to her. She's your girlfriend. You take care of her. I'm getting the fuck out of here.
Like, fucking, I just chopped up mine, and you know what? I don't want to chop up yours. So we should probably get the fuck out of here. And I mean...
They talk for a second about, we don't even know if there's another way back besides the bridge. There's like, you know, maybe there's an old trail or a fucking old road somewhere. Gotta be something, but yeah. Ash mentioning Linda can't walk with her leg fucked up. She can't even stand up. Scott's like, I don't give a shit. He fucking grabs his coat and a little survival pack and a flashlight and just walks the fuck out the door and into the night.
Yep, Ash shuts the fucking door, you know?
Yeah. He goes back into the cabin and Cheryl calls up from the cellar. Soon all of you will be like me and then we will lock you up in the cellar. Ha 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 ha. Like, at least the demons are having fun.
I feel like their eyes kind of changed a little bit here. They're like super fucking pinky now, which is fucking awesome.
Yeah. Ash goes in to check on Linda and pulls the covers up to look at her foot. Bad fucking news there.
Pervert. Thought he was going to get a little peeky peek, get a little demon. Foot demon.
I mean, it's his girlfriend. You can look at her feet, I guess. But
only if she knows.
Yeah. At first, honestly, like, I'm sure it hurt to have a pencil stabbed into your ankle, but it really doesn't look that bad. I'm sure she could have walked. But, oh no, lead poisoning or something. He looks at her skin and the fucking, like, all of it starts to crack and little rivulets run off in all directions, darkening. And then we cut up to her face where her eyes shoot open with those same demon eyes. Those fucking contacts are crazy.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
And then she sits up like Frankenstein and starts laughing and chasing him out of the room. Like, oh, dude, you should have left with Scott, man.
Yeah.
He runs out of the bedroom and goes to leave the cabin, but that's when Scott comes back, jumps out of the darkness, fucking out of nowhere, and he's all fucked up now. I wonder if he also got raped by trees.
Fucking kind of looks like it, to be honest with you. How's your butt, Scott?
He's all disheveled, yeah.
But fucking Linda's sitting on the floor now, dude, and that is probably one of the creepier things from the whole movie.
Yeah.
Is, you know, so Scott comes in.
All torn up from head to toe.
Ash is trying to get him over to the fucking couch, and the camera's focused down in the hallway where Linda was, and as they pass, boom, she's sitting there.
Yeah.
You know, on the floor.
Right.
It's good.
Sitting
it's
crisscross applesauce. Looking pretty cute for a dead-eyed, I gotta say. She's just all smiley and giggly.
It's because it's only her fucking eyes right now. She doesn't have all the goop all over her face yet.
She hasn't gotten injured otherwise other than the fucking pencil stab.
Right.
But Ash sits Scott down on the couch and reassures him, hey, man, you're going to be okay. Yeah, I don't think so.
No, Ash, it's not going to let us leave. Cheryl was right.
Right.
We're all going to die here, all of us, which, I mean, yeah.
Yep, exactly.
Is there a way around the bridge?
Yeah. Ash tries to argue. He's like, no, bullshit. They go back and forth for a minute with Ash insisting, no, we're not going to die. We're getting out of here. Don't worry about it. He asks Scott if there's another way around the bridge, but first of all, Scott's not even paying attention. He's just talking about how he doesn't want to die.
As he's dying.
Right.
Kinda.
Yeah. He's like, you're not going to leave me here, are you, Ash? And my second point, how the fuck should Scott know? You were just talking about how there might be a way around, but we don't know. And Scott didn't get that far before coming back to the cabin, dude.
He
didn't make it to the bridge.
No.
But anyway, Ash gets pissed and tries to slap some sense into Scott, because that's what you do. But that's when Demon Cheryl starts mocking him, repeating everything he just said and laughing about it. These demons are fucking assholes, man.
Fucking awesome.
He asks Scott again, and he says, yes, there's a trail around the bridge, but it doesn't matter. The trees are alive, and they know. And that's when Cheryl and Linda start laughing like crazy, and Scott's face just starts pouring blood. Like, fucking looks like you're on your own at this point, Ashley.
Right.
But he gets pissed at Linda and tells her to shut the fuck up, but she keeps laughing, so he starts whooping her ass. He punches her 4 or 5 times, but it does nothing, so he just gets frustrated.
Slapped the shit out of you.
That's when Scott tells him to kill her, and Cheryl agrees, yeah, kill her if you can, lover boy. So he walks over to pick up the shotgun, and he comes back saying, God forgive me. And he takes forever to do anything, obviously not wanting to kill his girlfriend, but he stands there long enough for her to pull a fast one on him, and suddenly transforms back into regular Linda and begs him to help her.
Yeah, dude, these fucking demons.
Trying to be all fucking trickstery.
Right.
Of course, he fucking tosses down the shotgun. She stands up and like melts into his arms, begging like, don't let him take me again, just sobbing. And of course he agrees. Oh no, of course I won't. We'll be okay. But that's when we hear regular Cheryl's voice again. Ashley, help me. Help me out of here. I'm all right now. Unlock this chain and let me out.
Yeah, right. Don't fucking do it, man.
Yeah. The camera pans back over to the cellar door, which is now closed. There's no demon peeking out. Like, which bitch, prove it. Fucking show me your face, first of all. And Ash and Linda stand there just staring at the door for a second. And Ash calls out to Cheryl, walking over to the cellar door and pulling out the key ring like a fucking moron.
Yeah, dude, that decides to get down and like peek into the crack.
Yeah.
Know?
And he calls out to her a couple more times, but then Cheryl's dead-eyed arm bursts up through the floorboards and grabs him, once again in that mocking tone.
Oh, I'm all right now, Ashley. Come take off the chain and let me out.
Dude, he kind of bites her hand here to get free a little bit.
Yeah.
And I feel like little parts of this movie is setting up for like Evil Dead 2, how it gets so like comedic. You know what I'm saying? You get a little bit of that here. It just doesn't go and trail off like the
as far as that does, yeah.
Right. But like that's ridiculous. Like bite her fucking hand. I wouldn't bite her gross ass hand.
Yeah. I guess it depends, man, because like if it's strong enough to hold you, you can't get away. What are you gotta try something. Jason just snarled a little. But he finally struggles free. He stands back up asking why these bastards are torturing him like this. And the gross dead-eyed hands just sink back down into the floor. That's when Linda starts laughing from behind him again, and he turns to see her just kind of hanging out, sitting cross-legged in the doorway. No longer regular Linda. She's back to demon doll form. She looks very much like a little porcelain doll. Not sure if that was the intent, but that's the impression I got.
Dude, definitely, yeah. Now we get the fucking singing, too.
Yeah, we're gonna get you. Very sing-song kind of way.
Right.
Playing with him. Yeah, not another peep. Time to go to sleep.
It's fucked.
And that's when he decides to just grab her feet and drag her ass outside. I'm not sure why this deadite doesn't really put up a struggle with anything. Doesn't really attack at all. She's just along for the ride, giggling the whole way.
Yeah, I thought that was kind of weird, too. Shouldn't it be kicking his ass?
Right. It never... I mean, I guess they got all the time in the world and they want to play with him some, but I don't know.
I think maybe it's just to show you that it's not all violence, you know what I mean? That it's not all by physical force, because he's fucking losing it here, man.
Right.
When he goes back in after dropping her off outside, he's trying to pour some water into Scott's mouth. And I mean, I know he realizes it in a second, but right away I'm like, bro, I'm pretty sure he's dead.
That's
and he's talking
exactly what I was fucking. Yeah, I have the same notes. Like,
and this is what I was joking about earlier on. When the sun comes up, we can all get out of here together. And I'm like, you're talking to a dead body,
Basically, yeah. He fucking okay, so he drags Linda out. She's yelling at him. She says something about useless and time will come for him and then will come for you.
Mm-hmm.
And there's the tracking shot where he pulls her right into this spotlight on the ground and just walks away, leaving her there.
Right.
Not sure what you were trying to fucking resolve by doing that, just getting her out of the cabin, I guess. But what about the fucking broken windows?
He doesn't want to kill her. You know?
There's a quick shot of a blood moon darkening and we cut back in and that's where Ash is he brings Scott the water. He's pouring it all over his face. He's trying to pour it into his mouth, but he's not getting much in there. And he's like, yeah, the sun will come up in an hour. We can get out of here. Fucking who, dude? Shelly's dead. Cheryl and Linda are both possessed by demons. Scott looks like he's about 2 seconds away from expiring. Once again, I think you're on your own, my dude.
Right.
Also, why do they keep insisting that the sun coming up matters? Are demons allergic to sunlight like vampires?
I guess it's no.
I seem to remember things happening in the daytime too in The Exorcist.
Yeah, that's true.
But yeah, Ash starts rattling through the list of people he thinks are getting out of there. And he's like, you, me, Linda, Shelly. Oh, okay, maybe not Shelly, but maybe Cheryl. I'm pretty sure he's just pouring water, like you said, into a dead guy's mouth at this point.
Yeah.
If Scott isn't already dead, you're probably drowning him pretty good now because he's absolutely not swallowing any of this water.
Right.
And he stops pouring. You can see the water level in Scott's mouth just not move at all.
Yeah, it's dripping down his face.
Yeah. And Ash keeps trying to talk to him we'll all be going home. I bet you'd like that, wouldn't you, buddy? Oh, just look at the rabbits. Probably fucking not, Ash. I don't think Scott cares anymore.
Right.
That's when he kind of realizes, though. Scott's gone. He drops the cup into his lap, and asshole Cheryl laughs at him. He stands and walks over to the window to look out at the car, but when he turns around, oh, fuck me, Linda's standing there holding that crazy dagger.
Right.
And she screams as she brings it right down into his arm. It's very it's very much like the Halloween shot when Michael fucking kind of slashes Laurie's arm a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
Even wearing the same color shirt now that I think about it. But he backs away and looks at her, and she's very seductively licking the blade clean. If she didn't look like a literal monster, it'd probably be kind of hot.
You're a sickie.
But that nice little moment doesn't last long before she comes at him with it. She slams him into the corner a few times, throws him across the room. He falls onto the couch, knocking poor Scott's body off and onto the floor.
Yeah.
The dead get no dignity in these movies, dude. And I like this next move here, though. Ash falls on his back on the couch, and Linda runs over to jump on him, and he raises his feet, catches her with him, and launches her back off, throwing her across the room. What is this, a fucking wrestling match? Hell in a Cell, perhaps?
It's fucking working.
But she never stops smiling. She does oddly decide to switch positions on the way she's wielding this dagger, though. And for some reason, she grabs it by the bottom of the blade, and that's how she comes at him charging next. And they meet in front of the window and lock up. They look like they're dancing here for a minute, but that's when the cellar door fucking shoots open again with Cheryl grabbing Ash's foot and saying, join us some more. Lots of face grabbing going on in this movie, too. That's what Linda does next. And just her whole ass palm just stretched over the entirety of his face. And they struggle around for a moment, but once again, somebody gives her their partner the old reach around, fucking learn from the best. Fucking Ash grabs Linda's arm, puts it behind her back with the dagger pointing at her spine, and then pushes her over Scott's body.
Right onto the fucking...
tripping her with it, so she kind of falls on her sword here, yeah. Right. And immediately starts screaming, spurting blood from all over, a quick
milk fountain.
Yeah, close up to him reacting to murdering his lover, but then, yeah, she starts squirting milk all over the place, too. And she finally seemingly fades out, but don't be fooled, Ash. Shelly already pulled this shit when Scott stabbed her with the dagger. You know she ain't dead.
Right.
All is quiet for a moment, and Ash leans over and grabs her feet, dragging her body over Scott's. That poor dude. I mean, he was an asshole, but damn, man, why are you fucking with his corpse so much? I like the tracking shot of him pulling her over, though. In the foreground, we get a close-up of Scott's mouth dripping blood as he pulls Linda away. Past all this chaos, there's just shit laying all over the room. But we cap it off by holding at a certain point. The camera stops suddenly, and Ash pulls Linda's body off screen, and it reveals Demon Cheryl staring up, looking like from the cellar door, looking creepy as fuck. Mm-hmm. And we just kind of hang out for a moment looking at her. It's great. We cut to Ash bringing Linda's body into the shed out back, and he turns the light on, tosses her body on the workbench, chains it down real tight, before grabbing a fucking chainsaw. This thing looked nice as shit. It had no business in this rundown old shed. Like the paint is chipped and stuff, but it looks like it's hardly ever been used. No grime on it to speak of, really. It's clean as hell. Nice new chain. No gunk around the bolts. This baby's tip top.
It's all lubed up.
Must be a Binford.
Dude, isn't it funny that there just happened to be like a workbench the size of a body
right?
ready to go?
Yeah, we get a close-up on this fucking on-off switch, and it's fucking gleaming in the light of this incandescent bulb. But he fires it up, and here we go, man. Looks like he's going for it. He's about to dismember her ass with this chainsaw. But then he sees the necklace around her neck. Oh, man, the little magnifying glass he just gave her hours ago. Done.
He just doesn't have the heart again.
Yeah, done, sad.
Yeah, dude, she's a demon. Fucking do it.
Right.
You'll regret that later.
But that necklace fucks him up. He can't go through with it. And he powers the chainsaw back down and tosses it to the side. And he turns back to Linda and just breaks down crying on top of her. And he decides instead to carry her body back to where they put Shelly, and he's just going to bury her with her, I guess.
Yep, bury her alive, I guess, huh?
And he starts digging, but meanwhile inside, Cheryl is trying to bust her way through the door, and for a brief moment, Linda opens up her spooky-ass eyes again, and that's when it happens. Cheryl finally succeeds in busting out of the cellar,
right,
prompting Linda's eyes to open briefly once again, but the callback to that scene from earlier, when Ash turns around, they're closed. Fucking that little cute game they were playing when he gave her the necklace.
Right.
It's kind of flipped on its head here.
Cheryl had to catch the buried alive match. By God, buried alive match.
He carries her body over to the grave he just dug and puts her in, starts tossing dirt on top, and we get a cool camera angle here of the lens being covered, like putting us in the perspective from the grave being buried alive. And he finishes the job and whacks the dirt pile with the shovel a couple of times, like you do when you bury a body. You got to pack it down some. And of course, there's a nice little makeshift wooden cross on each grave. That's cute.
Fuck yeah.
And that's when he looks over and sees the necklace laying on the ground. And he bends down to pick it up. And that's when Linda's hand shoots out from the fresh grave and grabs his arm. Should have fucking dismembered her, dude. And that's what you get.
Fuck yeah, that's what I said. Fucked up.
Yeah. How did Ash become an icon when he's making all the shittiest choices in the world at every turn?
This is his first time. He's a seasoned veteran after this first night. You know?
Right, I guess, yeah. She fucking, like, when she grabs his leg, she starts ripping the flesh off of it, just raking her fingernails down it.
Dude, it's fucking gnarly as fuck.
Yeah.
His leg is fucking
pulling off
gross.
strips and chunks, dude. Fuck me.
Yeah.
But he falls down screaming and crawls away a little bit. And he grabs this enormous fucking wooden beam. I don't know where this thing came from.
It looks like a railroad.
That's exactly what the fuck I said. As big as it is, it would be so fucking heavy,
That's
dude.
what I thought too. I was like, that's a motherfucking railroad tie. And I was like, no, it's not. He would.
There's no way he could have
swung.
swung this fucking thing, especially still prone on the ground like this.
It would have crushed her head.
Yeah.
You know?
I fucking literally worked in a rail yard before. I've loaded up railroad ties for people. They come in different sizes, but mostly they're heavy as fuck, and you need two people to lift them.
Just that big wooden piece that goes underneath the rails, right?
Yeah, it's a fucking, like, I don't know, think like an 8x8 piece of fucking wood and like 8 feet long.
Yeah.
You're not swinging that fucking thing.
It's like some specific, it's like super fucking dense.
Yeah.
It's not like...
Exactly. It's like covered in tar usually.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like sealed with some kind of,
God damn, there's no fucking way. But...
You drop it on your toe.
Dude, I got
toe.
fucking injured. I had a fucking... Because when they're bundled together, they like have banding wrapped around them to kind of cinch, and they're in stacks of like, I don't know, 20, like 4 layers of 5 or whatever.
Oh, shit.
There was one time that I fucking clipped one open, and the front like column of railroad ties fell on me, and it fucked up my leg. I had to like do physical therapy and shit from it. Yeah, those things are heavy as fuck.
Yeah, dude.
So anyway, swing it he does somehow, and right into the shitty fake head on the now standing Linda. This looks fucking awful. It's so silly to see it bouncing around as he beats her, too.
Right.
Like, I mean, I was going to say beats her to death, but we know how that's going to happen. So he gives her another 5 or 6 good whacks with this and finally rams her in the face with it, knocks her down. And he continues to beat on her while she just laughs at him. That really takes the fun right out of it.
Right.
But finally she catches the beam and hangs onto it, ultimately throwing him over by the graves. And she squeaks out, "Don't kill me," as she walks him down, but then she leaps into the air trying to frog splash him or some shit, and he grabs that shovel and swings it through the air, finally lopping off her fucking head with it. Those high-flying maneuvers really have not been working out so well for you, Linda.
Her head fucking lands and then is still laughing, dude. It's fucking so awesome.
I like her body like falls on top of Ash, and her head lands off to the side a little bit. And of course, in true Evil Dead fashion, her neck hole starts spraying blood all over his face, which is pretty awesome.
A huge amount. Like, it looked like Ash had trouble breathing.
Yeah. Meanwhile, her head is still alive, still yelling, and her body is still alive, still struggling to attack him.
Fuck yeah.
But finally, though, both do stop, and he jogs away from her lifeless body and head. Back to the cabin he goes, only to find that, his sister has finally broken out of the cellar, so yes, it's not over.
Yep, not good.
A door seems to open itself across the room, and he picks the shotgun back up to hunt her down, and the curtain on the other side of the room's moving, so he trains the gun on it. Unfortunately, he's standing right next to the broken window, and that's where Cheryl pops up, grabs the gun, trying to wrestle it away from him. But luckily, he fights her off. He does take a shot out the window at her and gets her pretty good in the shoulder.
Dude, fuck yeah. Like, it's actually for a dark shot. It's kind of gory. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? It's like blows a hole somewhere. It looked like chest.
Big old chunk. It's like right in her shoulder, because I'm sure he was aiming for her head, but missed, you know.
Right.
But it doesn't matter much. She just stands right back up and keeps coming. Really bad mask on her right here as well. And she starts to, come back toward the cabin. He runs back to the door to close it before she can get in, but like, the windows, dude. Remember the 2 broken windows? What's the fucking point?
They're like all fucking broken.
Yeah. And for some reason, the door is fighting him like a son of a bitch, doesn't want to close, but does so very slowly. It takes him like 5 or 6 big pushes to do it. And when he does, Cheryl's hand just barely sneaks in, blocking it from closing all the way. So he smashes it with the gun a couple of times until she pulls it back.
Cool, dude. Ow.
It looks like she's got a big goofy glove on, basically, though, with this makeup. And this is where that crazy fucking synth score pops in for a second as he runs to close the other door. It like ramps up the sense of urgency, and finally, he asks the obvious question to himself. Shells. Where did I see a box of shells?
Oh, yeah.
Back down in the cellar, of course. Hey, quick question. Whatever happened to Scott's body? Anyway, more on that later. He starts to walk down the stairs, but remember his leg's fucked up now, so he falls down half of them. Mm-hmm. And when he gets the rest of the way down, he encounters a leaky pipe wrapped in something, but what's leaking out of it looks like blood.
Yeah, so they were super leaky earlier.
Yeah.
But not with blood.
No.
But
so,
like right away, though, you're like, dude... You.
Yeah. What do I do in this situation? Naturally, let me put my face right under it to investigate. Yeah. And of course, it bursts open right at that moment, pouring blood all over his face. These poor fucking people, man.
I said, he decided to check out the leaky blood pipe, and it fucking lets loose. Like.
Let her loose.
You're gonna have to call somebody to clean this up.
You only want me for my demon juice. We get a cool moment here where the blood starts pouring out of the power sockets on the walls.
Yeah.
And from like in between each crack, like in the stone of the cellar, like starts pouring in, like filling the inside of the light bulbs. Pretty cool.
Yeah, that was kind of crazy.
And you get a goofy, like you just cracked open a Pepsi and you're pouring it into a cup sound as the light bulb fills. But strangely now things start to get a little silly. Like the record player down here opens itself, the needle drops on its own, the handle cranks, and some upbeat orchestra music starts to play.
It says it was jazz from the 20s.
Right, yeah. And he stumbles back from the pipe and the projector whirs to life, aimed right at him, kind of blinding him a bit.
Yeah, dude, pretty cool. But the blood drips onto the lens.
Yeah.
But it's shining on Ash, so it's not pointing upward.
That's what I was going to say.
It looked cool regardless.
Like, as silly as all this is for a moment, it makes for a pretty sick shot when the blood starts to cover the lens and shows up on the section of wall that kind of becomes what would be intended as the screen.
Right.
And eventually, it's like all red over him.
Yeah, dude, it is fucking sweet regardless.
Yeah. And he runs away from this and he starts hearing the voices from like all night up to this point, repeating in his head. There's like Linda saying, "We're going to get you." Scott says, "All of us die." And Cheryl kind of repeats that point, and he keeps telling him to shut up. Either the demon's inside his head or he's going fucking crazy at this point.
Yeah.
But finally, he finds the shotgun shells and loads it up with the voices still repeating. Importantly, the one reminding him he's got to dismember them comes back.
Right.
The voices finally stop, and like right when he latches the shotgun closed, and he runs back through the cellar, kind of going in a circle and getting mesmerized by the projector once again. But this time, the machine overheats and kind of explodes, as does the light bulb above him. and the record player finally dies, leaving only the sound of the dripping pipes again.
Like, how ridiculous. The projector explodes.
I mean, fucking overheating, I guess. I don't know.
It's just a fucking little tiny light bulb. Yeah.
Film's definitely flammable as fuck.
Right.
But he steps in a puddle of blood on his way back up the stairs, and there's a cool tracking shot from beneath him as he slowly ascends them. And there's some crazy angles going on here as he gets to the top and he hears the clock start to chime again. Big, crazy, like, crashing sound with every swing of the pendulum. And the arms on the clock face are just spinning like crazy at this point. And he kicks the cellar door closed with everything, seeming to stop for a moment, but the ticking resumes, along with the sound of a heartbeat, presumably his, I guess.
Right.
But speaking of crazy angles, that's where we get an upside down shot right here of, like, it starts behind him and then kind of circles vertically to the front.
Yeah.
That one's pretty cool.
Super disorienting, which I think just kind of aligns with, like, the clocks are spinning and shit. Is it morning?
Yeah.
I don't fucking know.
Right.
And maybe that's
it's the Willy Wonka tunnel again.
Right. I think that's kind of aligning with, him hearing everything too. Like, this whole scene's disorienting. Shit's from, how long has this night been? Where in the fuck are we?
Exactly. Yeah, he looks outside for a moment until he sees apparently a Kandarian demon approaching. And he slams the door shut, spinning around to see all the shutters on the cabin opening and closing violently, which makes him scream. And we're getting wild with these angles here, man. There's another one here where it's an overhead tracking shot following him through the cabin. And like every rafter that passes, like ceiling beam we go by, makes a crazy sound for some reason. And he finally stops in front of another window. Never a good move. But he finds himself confronting himself, staring into a mirror.
Right.
And he reaches toward it, and when his hand gets to the pane of glass, it passes through like the mirror is just turning into water, apparently.
Yeah, it's like a fucking puddle.
Yeah. And he pulls his hand back out and starts screaming. Takes a random ass shot out the window, like, can't have any non-broken ones by the end of this. It's in the contract.
He's fucking nuts, man. He's just, what's real anymore?
Right. We get a quick shot of the porch swing from outside looking in, and then Ash just kind of backs up against a door, remembering, oh shit, I better reload this single-shot shotgun after I just wasted that round for no reason. And he starts muttering under his breath again, oh, why are you torturing me? And that's when we get him and his yellow teeth starting to crack a little bit. He starts smiling and almost laughing, but then remembers the necklace in his pocket, thinking of Linda, which the mention of her name stops all sound in the movie for a moment. But then, fuck me, Cheryl's hands crash through the fucking door to grab him once again. She's doing the fucking join us thing some more. And he spins around to get a good shot of her face, perfectly like framed in the hole the arm left.
Right.
And he fires, immediately running over to grab something to barricade the door with, even though, as I already mentioned, what about the huge fucking broken window right next to it, you idiot? And then what's this? Fucking Scott sits up. They have like the sound of a modulated chainsaw, I think, for some reason, as Scott's corpse sits up out of nowhere, just like a sound cue jump scare kind of a thing.
Right.
But he sits up like the fucking Undertaker, grabbing Ash immediately, prompting him to grab a table to toss at him, throwing everything on it to the ground, including the book.
Right.
That crazy skin book from earlier, that seems important.
Is this your skin book?
I found the skin books. Anyone have an extra skin book I could borrow? We zoom in on that real quick while Cheryl bangs on the door outside, slowly beating her way in. And meanwhile, Scott grabs Ash by the throat, lifting him into the air, choking his ass out. One-handed, by the way.
Right, dude.
And there's a close-up of now, like, Scott's face, more terrible makeup, but not a bad effect as Ash's thumbs gouge his eyes out and they ooze with blood.
Fucking eyeball trauma, dude. He shoves his thumbs, like, deep into his fucking eyes.
Oh, yeah.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah, Scott screams, and Ash takes a second to look down, seeing a piece of wood sticking out of his stomach, and he grabs and pulls it, and there's a very comical, like, plum sound as it fucking, like, unplugs the dam here with blood just shooting out everywhere from Scott's stomach.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. It was like they had a fucking tub of blood there, and they just turned on the fountain.
Oh my god. Scott reaches out to grab for Ash as he falls to the ground, but that's when Cheryl finally comes back in to attack him some more. She hauls off and punches him across the room again.
Fucking uppercut, dude.
Yeah.
It's a beautiful uppercut.
Right? Perfect form. But that's when he notices the necklace and the book lying on the floor by the fire. So he grabs for the book, but Scott grabs his leg and drags him away. But he drags him right to the necklace,
Right.
which Ash picks up and tries to use as a lasso to pull the book in closer. I don't think that would work in a million years.
I don't.
It's so silly.
It's because that weird fucking shape, I guess.
I suppose, man.
The
He just
skin-
happened to hook on to something, you know?
It's easy to hook because it's a skin book. You know?
We get a cool overhead shot of Ash laying on the floor, Scott holding onto his foot, and Cheryl walking up with a fire poker, getting ready to lay the fucking hammer down.
Yeah, like kicking his ass with it.
She
dude.
gives him a bunch of good whacks in the back as Scott pulls himself up to start biting Ash's leg.
Yeah.
And he actually starts dragging Ash away from the book, but he did manage to get a hold of the book with the necklace, fucking somehow.
Right.
And the corner, like, binding of the book is on fire at this point. I feel like the demon should probably be reacting to that, like maybe also catching fire a little bit too. I don't know. Maybe it's just me.
I think Scott was smoking a little bit earlier when it was first kind of when the corner was on fire.
Okay. Well, Scott drags him halfway across the room and the book comes along with him. Finally, he's able to grab it and toss it all the way into the fire, at which point the Deadites just kind of freeze in place,
Right.
like wailing.
That fucking fire poker lands right next to his face.
Right.
Right next to Ash's.
Drop, like stabs into the ground right next to him.
Right. Like, tink. Like, fuck, that was close.
For some reason, Cheryl's leaking some dark blue shit out of her mouth. I'm not really sure what that is.
This is all those different color things he was throwing in.
This is where
trying
it
to-
really gets wild, yeah.
Yeah.
We start, like, we're finally bringing this nightmare to an end. These demon corpses, like, their faces are slowly decomposing. Well, I guess technically it's really fast compared to the rate humans normally decompose, but that's irrelevant. Anyway, Cheryl's hair starts falling out. Both of their faces start to sink in and get bloodier and more rotten. There's like bright green shit leaking out of them for some reason.
Mm-hmm.
The stop motion animation looks crazy here, but ultimately I really don't like the effect. It's too cartoony for me.
It's definitely fucking old school. It's almost kind of some of this clay animation shit, maybe, probably, definitely. It's fucking, it's all kind of crazy. And I bet you whatever they did, playing it in reverse.
Possibly.
Like
I
the
mean,
way
I know
they build
they
it.
definitely did the stop motion thing for sure.
Like they
but
probably started with the fucking ending and then added onto it if it was clay.
maybe, yeah.
You know, but yeah, it's definitely pretty fucking dated.
I hate the huge tongues that are darting out of the mouths of the demons and the book itself. That's goofy.
Fucking gives me like, maybe that's where Rob Zombie that got some of that kind of inspiration from.
Maybe.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
A bunch of fucking with all that cottage cheese and shit coming out of Scott's shirt.
Yeah, dude.
It looks so gross.
I have no fucking idea. It's weird. The book kind of does a little bit of a death rattle noise. Sounds kind of like an ROUS, honestly. And then everything gets quiet. More crazy shit like, what's leaking out of Scott's body, and Cheryl's head kind of rolls around a bit. Ash is just looking up from the floor trying to make sure this shit's actually over. And all of a sudden, these huge demon hands rip through the torsos of Cheryl and Scott's bodies.
Right.
Like exploding with entrails. It looks wild as fuck.
Fucking blood shooting fucking everywhere.
Yeah.
Especially on the fucking Ash again.
For sure, yeah. There's all of a sudden, there's like bugs crawling around everything. Cheryl falls down and fucking explodes. It's all gross as hell.
There's like little snakes too, I thought, maybe.
Right. And then that like demonic voice once again starts repeating, "Join us." And finally Ash stands up all bloody with the camera panning around him. It's daylight once again outside, and more importantly, the clock is working correctly again. And a more like uplifting score comes in as he lifts the necklace to get one last look. And we cut outside to see the sun rising. And he just walks out the front door covered in blood, stumbles off the porch, but that's when the score starts getting creepy again. And we cut to the camera like focused on a single leaf, and then it pans up to do more of that fast tracking shit where it's demon POV again.
Right.
And it cruises from the back of the cabin all the way through it, back out the front door and into Ash's face as he screams. Turns out that happy ending wasn't happy after all, but that's it. We fucking fade to black. Some more of that jaunty music starts to play again, and the fucking credits roll.
Yeah, it's almost like that record player kicks back on.
Mm-hmm.
So,
got a big dun 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 for the end of this.
Circles back around.
Mm-hmm.
Man. So I feel like I've said a few times that Texas Chainsaw is my favorite. And it is. This is my second favorite.
Really?
Far. Fuck yeah.
Holy shit.
I fucking love this movie. I've always loved this fucking movie. It's been, I've watched it enough, though, that it doesn't stay in my regular rotation anymore. I fucking watched this shit so fucking much when I was younger. Like, all of them. Part 2 and Army of Darkness, when I say all of them,
Right.
I thought this movie was fucking great, and it's just one of those things where, just like Texas Chainsaw, there's questionable acting in it, but it's 1981. This is low budget. This was indie.
Extremely, yeah.
Yeah, I fucking like all of it. I think it's great. Some moments are fucking over the top, but this movie's fucking scary, man. It's fucking crazy. I love it. I don't know that I'd really change anything about it, but I know you have a lot of thoughts. So what are you thinking?
I do have a lot of thoughts. Before I get to that, let's do our little wrap up here. 85% on Rotten Tomatoes, so overall pretty positive. And as for critical reception, the film first screened privately on October 15th, 1981 at the Redford Theater in Detroit for just friends and family. But that attracted the interest of Irvin Shapiro, who was also responsible for distributing Night of the Living Dead.
Okay.
And he helped them get a screening at the 1982 Cannes Film Festival, of which he was a founder, eventually leading to a wide release on April 15th, 1983. And critics were pretty positive overall for this, all the way from its release up to today. And this is considered one of the most significant cult classics of all time, one of the most successful independent films of all time, and damn it, why not, one of the greatest horror films of all time, leading to the creation of, the cultural icon of Ash Williams and the rest of the franchise, obviously.
No, dude.
So this is big shit in the horror community.
Fuck yeah. Like I said, it's spread everywhere, man. I
And
can tell you numerous fucking bands. There's albums written about this shit.
Oh, for sure.
I mean?
And we've been to cons before where Bruce Campbell was there, and his fucking line is just out the door and down the block. You know?
Yeah.
Like,
fuck yeah.
it's nuts.
He's up there with Freddie. You know what I mean? Like, you're trying to meet Robert Englund.
Right.
Good luck.
Same situation, yeah, for sure.
A whole fucking day.
Similarly, I did a photo op with Robert Englund, but we didn't want to wait in the fucking crazy ass line. Like,
everybody there wants to meet him.
Yeah, for sure. There was only a budget on this movie of $375,000. That's not much at all. They literally had to beg and ask family members for most of it, as a matter of fact. But then they ended up raking in $29.4 million at the box office.
Jesus, and probably counting.
Right. But I'm just talking about the box office draw here.
Oh, okay.
Interestingly, only $2.4 million of it was in the U.S. Another $27 million overseas.
Wow. I can see that.
And of course, we talked about the franchise. This whole thing started with the Within the Woods proof of concept short in 1978. There was, of course, this movie, and then Evil Dead 2 in 1987, Army of Darkness in 92. Then we had the remake in 2013. There was the Ash vs. Evil Dead TV series from 2015 to 2018.
It's fantastic.
Evil Dead the Game in 22. Evil Dead Rise in 23, which we already covered and was fucking great. And then, like we mentioned, just a few days after the release of this episode is going to be Evil Dead Burn, which we're super excited about.
Yeah.
And like you said, we've also got Evil Dead Wrath scheduled for 2028. So we'll see what happens with that. Oh, and there's also a comic series as well.
Oh, fuck yeah. And I mean, there's games that aren't well known too. Like, I'm pretty positive there's a PS2 Evil Dead game.
Right.
Probably other random shit too. Who knows? Dreamcast or something fucking crazy.
But as far as my thoughts, I think it depends on what kind of mood I am in when I watch this movie as to how I feel about it. Because it's a classic. It's a cult classic for sure that most horror fans should probably already have in their collection.
Fuck yeah.
Personally, I don't, but it doesn't mean I shouldn't. I just overall, on this watch, I wasn't impressed with this movie as I wanted to be. Maybe I'm a little spoiled by everything coming out nowadays. And I tried to be forgiving of the low budget. I just sometimes can't get into the wacky, over-the-top, silly shit, and this is definitely all of those things. I want to like it more than I end up actually liking it, and it's a little bit disappointing, but it had moments of brilliance for sure. I'm not going to detract from that at all. But I'm also not going to tell you if you don't watch it, you're missing out on an absolute masterpiece. Like, it doesn't reach that level for me, because I feel like it's a pretty fine movie. What it does best, I think, is atmosphere, and the tone throughout remains creepy and unsettling and kind of keeps you, off your guard. But it does what it's here to do, and of course it led to some pretty badass movies down the line. Like I said, I really like the 2013 remake, Evil Dead Rise rules. I'm excited to see Burn, so it's certainly not all bad. This had some fantastic creative shots and angles all throughout. I feel like the lighting maybe left a little to be desired. There was some goofy shit here and there, but I'm not going to fault it too much. It's 1981. You're working with very little money, I get it. But yeah, the atmosphere overall really nails it. The acting was atrocious all around, including Bruce Campbell. And the character of Ash, I'll say it must not be due to this movie that he gained his cult classic, or cult icon status. because he's kind of a piece of shit in this. But I feel like it's got to be the addition of the chainsaw arm in the next movie, although that movie is way sillier. None of the acting from anyone else really helped it along. The makeup, oh my god, the makeup. Like, on one hand, some of the gore effects were pretty dang fun, lots of ooziness, flesh tearing, etc.
Oh, yeah.
But what the fuck is with all the weird colored liquids and shit escaping the bodies? I was just laughing watching most of that. And the masks that they sloppily applied to these actors' faces were embarrassing in moments, like completely leaving portions of their regular faces exposed. There was the annoying laughing, overly cartoonish, distorted voices. I just felt like I was watching a precursor to a more polished Possession movie. Which I most definitely was, so I understand I'm being a little harsh on it this time.
I mean, shit, if you, have you seen Evil Dead 2?
I don't really remember a ton about it. I have seen it in the past, but it's been quite a while.
It's not scary.
No, it's comedy.
It's still got, it's a horror is all still there, but it's not like
very
this.
Slapstick.
It's like Texas Chainsaw to Texas Chainsaw 2, which even that is still a strange one, but it goes from straight, hey, this is a fucking horror movie, to this is fucking funny and everything's goofy. It's almost like Stooges style.
Yeah.
On fucking
that's what I mean.
Too, you know?
Right, yeah.
So do you think the other ones hit a little bit better with a more comical aim?
I'll have to revisit to be sure. And I'm sure I'll watch this movie again and feel differently about it. I'll be like, oh, this is great. But I mean, I feel like my favorite part of this movie was probably the score and sound design. There were some really great choices in here, thinking of like the clocks, the wind whooshing, the wild synth score they threw in that one part. That was something that really held this together for me, I think. But overall, on this particular watch, I was kind of meh on this.
Really?
Like, I want to, it was hard for me to give a rating on this because I understand the importance of it. I understand people love it. I understand why people love it. But like I said, for this, like, for whatever reason, whatever mindset I was in when I watched it this time, I was like, this fucking, come on, man. So I ended up giving this on this run through 6 out of 10 burning skin books.
Hey, there you go.
And like, I don't know. Again, if you're a true blue horror fan, you probably already have this in your collection, and I probably should as well. I'm not that into it though, so I don't. I had to watch it on Prime, and I feel at the end of the day, with the tone of the movie alone, it earns that cult classic status for sure. So it is a light recommend for me. Just to check it off the bucket list, if nothing else, it's for sure at least worth a watch once.
Oh, fucking A. Yeah.
And at least it'll get you into the universe of this films, which do end up getting really good at a point later down the line. And it's nice to have some background to ease you into it, even though maybe this isn't a super easy movie to watch. Although, you know, like I said, sometimes I love it, sometimes I don't. Definitely check it out if you haven't. It's a classic. It's a classic for a reason.
Oh, yeah. I think it's important to revisit this one if you're checking out all the new ones, because all the new ones everything in the new ones is all a tribute back to something from this one.
Oh, yeah. I actually,
over and over.
When I got done taking my notes, later on, I just like wanted to toss on something, so I put on Evil Dead Rise. The amount of callbacks and shit and references to the original are ridiculous from the very first fucking frame.
Oh, yeah. Same thing with 13.
Yeah.
Because it's, it's all a tribute. Yeah, this movie is fucking iconic, man.
Yeah, for sure. And deservedly so. Regardless of my feelings on this particular watch, like I said, I'll probably feel different about it at different times. It just didn't do it quite for me on this one. But if you don't have anything else, I think we're about to wrap it up, man. That about brings us to it.
Yep, for sure.
All right. Well, I appreciate you tuning in, everybody. Thanks for hanging out with us. As always, we had a good time. We hope you did too. And until next time, remember, dreams are fleeting. Only nightmares last forever. Follow your nightmares.
Boy.
Kill her, Mommy. Kill her.
I bid you welcome.
Thanks for listening to the Cinebytes podcast. If you like what you heard, follow us on our socials at Cinebytes Pod on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, and X.
Don't forget to like, subscribe, rate, and review. It really goes a long way in helping us reach more listeners.
You can stream the Cinebytes on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Amazon Music, iHeartRadio, and many more popular streaming platforms and YouTube.
Questions or comments? Suggestions for future episodes? Contact us at cinebytespod@gmail.com. If you'd like to support the show and help us make it a better product for you, subscribe at cinebytespod.buzzsprout.com.
Until next time, keep following those nightmares. You only want me for my demon juice.